All right, y'all, we give praise, esteem, and honor to the living Alahym in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. Pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they was testified me, and you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Alahym in you. I come by Abba's name, you receive me not. When else I come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Alahym only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there's one that accused you, even Moses, of whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writing, how should you believe my words? Well, praise be to Alahym in the name of Yahushua. Let's go on back to Psalm 51. Oh, yeah, too, man. He said, I wanted everybody to pray for his father. Father's in the hospital fighting a hard battle. I think he say he got a heart issue that he's dealing with. I did tell Nita I was wrong with Triple H. That nigga had viral pneumonia. Yeah, they said he had viral pneumonia. His lungs got filled with fluid. The fluid got around his heart. I think your heart's supposed to operate at like 55 to 60%. Then you say when they found that junk, he was at 30. Say by the time he got to the hospital, he was at 12. Basically on the doorstep of death. That's why I say he got a defibrillator in his chest. That nigga ain't got no pacemaker. That nigga got the clear thing in his chest. You know what I'm saying? That means he was knocking on death's door. Psalm 51:6. Behold, desire truth in the inward parts. In the hidden, you shall make me to know wisdom. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Make me to hear joy and gladness. The bones which you have broken may rejoice. Hide your face from my sins. Blot out all my iniquities. Created me a clean heart, and O Alahym, and renew a right ruach within me. Cast me not away from your presence. Take not your ruach hakadash from me. Restore unto me the joy of your salvation. Uphold me with your free ruach. Then will I teach transgressors your ways, and sinners shall be converted unto you. Deliver me from blood guiltness, O Alahym, you Alahym of my salvation. My tongue shall sing aloud of your righteousness. O Lord, open you my lips, and my mouth shall show forth your praise. So let me ask y'all this question, because the dude in that Lepif group that I'm in asked this question. I'm going to see who can answer it. Let me find it first. I got to find it first. That man asked the question of which race was Adam and Eve, and what proof do you have? Now, he's not in the word, so he was asking a sincere question. He wanted to know what race was Adam and Eve. I'm asking you this here because I want to see how you going to answer it. Because I answered it, and Cud was like, I never knew that and looked at it that way. But I'm like, that's because you don't know the word, son. So I wouldn't expect anything of it.
What race?
He wants to know what race.
He made it from the dust to the ground. I never seen white dirt.
Just because he asked what race don't mean that that's how you supposed to answer that.
I know what race it ain't.
Huh?
I know what race it ain't.
I know what race it ain't. Yes. He's saying he ain't white.
Okay.
Oh, y'all don't know how to answer that? Huh? Is it?
I thought this was made in the image.
He made an image of
Black? Is black even a race?
Brown.
Is brown even a race?
Okay,
What is a race?
not white, so.
He the first Adam, washed up the second Adam.
Really Noah is most repopulated the earth. So.
But Noah from Adam. First and foremost, y'all would have answered wrong because there is no such thing as race. There's no such construct. It's made up. There's no such thing as color. If we're talking about from a scriptural standpoint, that is not the way that you answer that. The way that you answer that is you tell them there's no such thing as race. There's nationality. The nationality is determined by your father. You know what I'm talking about? So Adam's nationality is he's a son of Alahym. That's what Luke chapter 3 gave. Eve's nationality is that she come from Adam because she is called after his name. Therefore, her nationality is Adam. And he was like, oh, I didn't know that. See, that's how you sit back. See, that's what I mean by you can hear something, overthink it. There's no such thing as race. There's no black, there's no white, there's no Asian, there's no any of those things. Now you have what you got that yes, Yahuwah didn't create that. When you sit back and you look at, they'll tell you there's Caucasoid, Mongoloid, and Negroid. And those don't even exist as far as Yahuwah is concerned. As far as Yahuwah is concerned, and you just mentioned that flood, you got Shemites, Hamites, and Japhites, and that's it. You know what I'm talking about? You come from this man, and this man. That's how Yahuwah operate. You come from your daddy. There is no race. You know what I'm saying? All y'all can look the same, have the same skin tone. Shalom, man. You can have the same skin tone, all of that, and he gonna be like, you a Hamite, you a Shemite, and you a Moabite. And the Moabite still a Shemite, so it don't make no difference. That's how he gonna view you. Who is your daddy? You know what I'm saying? See, he was trying to see something, because again, this is another point where we telling you that niggas ask questions thinking that the book is flawed and that they can trip people up, because the 99.9% of the time, no one is going to answer that question properly. You know what I'm saying? And when I answered that question, that nigga exact word was, damn, I never looked at it like that. You didn't look at it like that because it ain't for you to know. You know what I'm talking about? Adam don't come from no man, so he can't be any race of man. He is the son of Alahym. That's the line that he come from. That is who his father is. His father is Yahuwah. He didn't have a natural father, didn't have a natural mother. So he can't be of any race of anybody on the planet Earth. He can only be of Yahuwah. And that's it. His wife is of him. So his wife, she from Adam. You know what I'm saying? That's where you can get Abel and Seth and on down the line, because she from Adam, because she come out of Adam and she's called after Adam's name. Her nationality is, I am the daughter, wife, sister, whatever you want to call it, of Adam. She can't trace her lineage to Yahuwah. She can only trace it to Adam. This is what it shows you, that a woman don't have a direct link to Yahuwah like a man does, because she come from the man. The man came from Yahuwah, so he has the direct link. The woman don't have the direct link. She comes from the man. She has to be linked to him through the man. But you seen that in the garden, because that's how Eve got linked. She got linked to him through Adam. Adam had to take her that word and give her that word. She ain't got that on her own. One of the biggest flaws and mistakes that are made in this particular country is that women think that they can get there on their own. Don't mean that Yahuwah can't link with you. Don't mean that Yahuwah not going to deal with you, but he not going to link with you directly outside of no man who had not been serving him. See, Mary couldn't have got linked unless her people was right. Because this is a virgin woman, upright woman. That means her people is right. Because if not, he ain't going to fool with her. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't going to get no wicked nigga and then, I'm going to go ahead and imbue this woman's womb with my seed, even though her bloodline wicked. That man don't operate like that. It doesn't move like that. Shalom, man. A lot of people don't like to hear that, but I trying to say what it is. But did any of you ever wonder what race Adam was?
That don't sound like a stupid question.
It sounds like a stupid question until you sit back and understand the person who asked it don't know no book. Because he said he trying to see something. He was trying to see how people were going to respond, because he probably had a thought process in his head that had nothing to do with the word, because he don't know it. That's why when I gave him the answer, that nigga was like, whoa, he ain't fight, argue. That nigga was like, I never looked at it in that fashion, because he didn't know. Most people don't look at Adam and say, oh, this is the son of Yahuwah. This is the son of Alahym. They ain't looking at that. They trying to come up that this is an allegory. This means this and this means that, and not looking at the text literally said this is this man's son. You know what I'm talking about? So that's why I hit him with that. And also to destroy that there is no construct of race in the text. It does not exist.
But that's why I was saying, when he be in the image of Yahushua,
I mean, it's to say
Adam,
it ain't even going that far.
if he made it in the image,
But we ain't even going that far. You just say son of Alahym. You have to keep it simple for somebody who don't know all that. That man don't know all that.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, he don't know all that. So yeah.
Since we going back to Adam, I got a question. Me and Nisha had a discussion earlier. So, was Yahusha actually in the Garden of Eden when Adam and Eve were trying to hide?
Yeah, that was Yahuwah. That was Yahuwah. Yahuwah is you. So that's who that was.
So I mean, like when he came down in the flesh, that was Yahusha. Like he was there since Genesis.
Yeah.
I know he was made. I don't remember that day, but he was the son. So So I was thinking that if he came down in the flesh and confronted them about it in the garden.
Well, he wasn't in the flesh.
Mm.
No, he wasn't in the flesh. He never manifested in the flesh until he was manifested in the flesh. But when you seen that in the cool of the guard book, they seen Alahym in his esteem. And he,
I forgot. I don't know word by word. I just remember walking in the garden or something like that. And it was hot. I thought he was in the flesh.
Oh no, he wasn't in the flesh. I mean, shoot, spirits can walk. You know what I'm saying? Spirits can walk. But no, he wasn't in the flesh. But that was him though. That would throw a lot of people off when they thinking that, oh, that was the literal Father in heaven, and that wasn't him. You know what I'm saying? We ain't never seen his father. We ain't never heard of his father. We ain't never seen his shape, heard his voice, know his name. We don't know nothing about his father at all. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people believe that Yahuwah is the Father and you know him. So when they get to them spots in John and you get the contradiction, they thinking that, oh, who was he doing? Talking to himself and all this other stuff. And they're not realizing, oh, no, that was Yahuwah. Yahuwah, that's Yahuwah here. It's the same person. You've been dealing with the same man. He just decided that I'll become a man. His glory, his honor, his splendor, his greatness. If you see somebody, you see a spirit, you see him in his esteem, his honor and his splendor. To be in the flesh is nothing honorable. Flesh is lower and debased. Yeah, that's a lower level.
Just think about it. If like you saying, every man on earth comes from Noah's son, from Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Every person on earth, they made in the image of Adam, right?
Yeah.
And then every person that's in the kingdom will be made in the image of Marshall.
Yeah, I mean, but that takes us to why we were looking at those genealogies, because that genealogy in Luke is what saves everybody. That's how everybody makes it. Because if there's no link from Yahusha to Adam, everybody dies. Muffin man, where you going, son? Indeed, that's pretty much what it is. But it's always, remember, there's no such thing as race, as nationality. That's why you always see when he say nation against nation, that's what he's talking about. Japhet gonna fight Ham. You know what I'm saying? Or Israel going up against Edom, or Moab fighting Ammon, or the Hivites is fighting the Hittites. We just looking at it in a modern time because you don't walk around and say, that's an Arab. You can see 15 different people who say they Arabs, and none of them can be of the same familial house. You know what I'm talking about? Because those are modern constructs. They don't exist when you go to dealing with the word of Yahuwah. Hey, peace, thanks. No, she wasn't feeling well. No, she wasn't feeling well. Bring that here, Renee. Come here. How are you? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you a baby? Are you my baby? Okay. Indeed. And Saran just mentioned, the tribe table in Genesis. But again, everything is about who your daddy is. Y'all don't remember that from when we were talking about David? That just because you from the tribe of Judah don't mean you are the kingly tribe. Because the only people who are that tribe is who? David. That's it. Just because you from, that's one of the biggest mistakes that Bruce make. Oh, we from the kingly tribe. No, you're not. You know what I'm saying? You from the tribe where the king come from. But you're not of the tribe of David, son. You could be of the tribe of somebody else. And guess what? You ain't sitting on that throne, boy. See, Bruce don't like to hear stuff like that. It don't make you feel good on the inside. But let's get to the point of why we even here. We deal about creating in yourself a clean heart and being delivered from blood guiltness. I believe we dealt with being delivered from blood guiltness in a sufficient enough fashion. Let's go ahead and get to the main crux of the matter. Let's get to verse 9. Hide your face from my sins and blot out all my iniquities. What they doing to that baby? Let's look at blot out. It's macabre. To blot out, to exterminate, to obliterate. Meme, cot, and hay. And I'll let you do what you need to do with meme, cot, and hay.
Separate you, young chapter.
Anybody else?
What's that word?
Macaw. Mean, cot, and hay.
I'm sorry, I meant to say what's the English.
Blot out. Doc McStuffin. Don't pop it till I'm finished. That's what Sean got. Yahusha blood separates you. Mean, cot, and hay. Anybody else? Oh, this is better than cool water. Close to cool water.
My shot is separated. Block you out.
Not blotting you out in that regard. He's asking for his sins to be blotted out. Well, let's take a look at something in Hebrew chapter 9.
I didn't catch that verse. That's all. What verse?
I think 7 or 8 in Psalm 51. I done close. 9. Oh yeah, that's way better than cool water. 9 and 15. Hebrews 9 and 15. For this cause, he's the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament, that they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance. For where there a testament is, there must also necessity be death of the testator. I think I missed my spot. I did. Come over here to verse 11. But Mashiach being become a high priest of good things to come by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building, neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered once into the Kadash place, having obtained eternal redemption. For if the blood of bulls and goats and the ashes of a heifer sprinkling the unclean sanctified to the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of a Mashiach, who through the eternal ruach offered himself without spot to Alahym, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living Alahym. Now, with that being said, right, of course, we're looking at the statement, what he make in the we can drop down to verse 22 in Hebrew 9, because we talked about Saran had for that word from Makkah, the breath that separates you from chaos. So you can look at that as the word that separates you from sin. You eating like you don't want nobody to see you too. Ain't nobody even studying you. I'm looking at you because you're looking crazy, like you're stealing snacks. Hey, Abby. Hey, Abby. Fine then. Be that way, Abby. So now he put it right there, right? John 6 and 63. Y'all know what it say, right? Who can tell me what it says without looking at it? And he also told you another statement. The flesh profit nothing. It's the ruach or the breath that makes you alive. And that's why you want to be separated from your sin. You know what I'm talking about? Removed from it, because you want him to blot it out. Now, of course, I know y'all know how he blotted it out, but we'll get to that in a moment. Let's continue. Verse 22. Matter of fact, make it 20. Saying, this is the blood of the testament which Alahym have enjoined unto you. Now, the verse before that, he mentioned, the testament was dedicated with blood, and Moses had did all that and took the blood on the people. Verse 21, moreover, he sprinkled both with the blood, both the tabernacle and all the vessels of the ministry. So y'all know that. That's Exodus 24. But when did Yahushua do the same? We talked about this before. Who can recall when Yahushua did the same? When he came and took the blood and sprinkled it on the tabernacle and the vessels of the ministry. Renee, what's wrong with you? Hey, Ruth. When did Yahushua sprinkle the blood on both the tabernacle and the vessels of the ministry? I'll get you a little something for it real quick. Come over here and look at Leviticus chapter 8. I'll give you verse 7 just because it'll reference something that we mentioned last night. Thanks. What are you doing? Why are you sitting? Oh. Leviticus 8 and 7. And he put upon him a coat and girded him with girdle and clothed him with the robe. Put the ephod on him, girded him with the curious girdle of the ephod and bound it upon him. Therewith he put the breastplate on him. He also put in the breastplate Urim and Thummim. He put the mitre upon his head, and upon the mitre, upon his forefront, did he put the golden plate, the Kadash crown, as Yahuwah commanded Moses. Moses took the anointing oil and anointed the tabernacle, and all that was therein, and sanctified them. He sprinkled thereupon upon the altar 7 times, anointed the altar and all his vessels, both the laver and his foot, to sanctify them. He poured of the anointing oil upon Aaron's head and anointed him to sanctify him. Moses brought Aaron's sons and put coats upon them, and girded them with girdles, and put bonnets on them, as Yahuwah commanded Moses. And he brought the bullock for the sin offering, and Aaron and his sons, and laid their hands upon the head of the bullock for the sin offering, and he slew. And Moses took the blood and put it upon the horns of the altar round about with his finger, and purified the altar, and poured the blood at the bottom of the altar, and sanctified it to make reconciliation upon it. He took all the fat that was upon the inwards and the caul above the liver, the 2 kidneys in their fat, and Moses burned it upon the altar. So where can you pinpoint when Yahushua put blood on the tabernacle and all the vessels of the ministry? Shalom, Brother Reynolds, just like what you see Moses doing here. Oh, nobody has an idea.
You said when he sprinkled the blood?
Yep. You know, Michael? Because you're looking perplexed.
When he pierced his side?
Oh, no. You're looking disheveled, confused, bewildered, flabbergasted. When did he put the blood on the tabernacle and the vessels of the ministry like Moses did? Yes, when he passed the cup. And he drank from the cup. Put blood on himself and the vessels of the ministry. You know what I'm saying? If you want to take the anointing before all of that, it's when the lady came and anointed him. If you want to take the caul and the liver and all that, you know what I'm saying? That's when we talked about last night, when his bile got poured out. And then he caught the dart in his liver and things of that sort. Let's come on back to Hebrews 9. Why is it important for that? Because he said that in order for you to be enjoined with the testament, you have to have the blood sprinkled on you, or you're not a part of it. Also, when he said that he did that to sanctify Aaron and his sons, that's tell you, I sanctify myself by the truth, that they might sanctify themselves by the truth. or you won't have no part with it. Also, if you know the law, it's something that a priest had to do before he was able to minister in the priest's office, and that he had to be washed, that is in Exodus 40, and that points you to the point of why Yahushua had to be immersed before he could start preaching. I don't know if some of y'all seen what that joke was funny though, but it was funny how the nigga did it. You know what I'm saying? If he actually followed the word, but you know, there was on Drink Champs, a game had hit Whack 100 right across his head with an analogy that he couldn't refute. You know what I'm talking about? Because they were going back and forth about Nipsey Hussle. He was like, he ain't no legend, and he was like, nigga, how long did Jesus preach for? And that nigga was stuck. You know what I'm talking about? That's what Game said to him. That nigga was stuck. He was like, because they didn't really know. He was like, bro, that man preached for what, 3 years? Look at all the things that he was able to accomplish in a short period of time. You know what I'm talking about? Now, of course, we know the reason why I mentioned it, because you know what the text say. He did so many things that it ain't even possible to be put it in the book. The world wouldn't even be able to contain it. See, now that's the point to this one particular point. You can do a whole lot in a short period of time if you're singularly focused on that objective and that objective alone. A whole lot. You know what I'm talking about? A whole lot. Most people don't. Most men in this country don't accomplish much because we live in a society that desires to be entertained. You know what I'm talking about? Like you take a nigga like Vince McMahon, man, they said this cracker 76 years old, man, work 20 hours a day. And they say he's been doing this for over 45 years. Say he don't watch TV, don't know nothing about popular culture or any of that. You know what I'm saying? And some people are like, what does he do all day? This man's running a multi-billion-dollar company. That's what he do all day. And at 76 years old, he's hands-on. Don't do nothing else. Don't care. Get up at 3-4 in the morning, work out, go to work. You know what I'm talking about? And most people don't have that idea. I know I was listening to some lady talk to some, trying to explain some lady, like, when you're dealing with somebody who's a billionaire, oh, that junk's different. I'm trying to tell y'all. They put that junk on TV because that's just for TV. Man, them niggas don't hang with their wife like that. Especially not a nigga who's not an entertainer. An entertainer has a little bit more free-flowing schedule. You know what I'm talking about? But even then, I'm only really talking about a musician. Even then, that junk ain't true because them niggas on the road. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all watch the Temptations. You remember what that little boy told his dad. You know what I'm talking about? But all jokes aside, if the son felt like that, imagine how the wife felt. Right? You see an actor, you be like, man, them niggas be on set 3, 4, 5 months, niggas, all over the place. Them niggas don't be at home with their children. You know what I'm saying? You just see the glamour part. You think they hanging out, living a glamorous life. They're not. Them niggas on the grind a lot. You know what I'm talking about? Them niggas is not home. You know what I'm saying? And you know what happens when they come home? They end up divorcing their wife because now she got to live with him and she don't really want to live with him. That's why football players, when they retire, they get divorced. 80% of them get divorced within the first 3 years of them retiring. You know what I'm saying? Because that one was only along for the financial ride. And once that money is over with, she's gone because now she got to live with. Why you think Tom Brady said, man, I'm coming back? That nigga sat at home for a couple weeks with that woman and said, man, I got to go. I got to go. Nigga been getting beat up for 23 years. That nigga say, I'd rather get hit in my head playing football than to be at home with this woman.
That's what it was. Is that what it was?
Yeah. What'd you say?
You probably was like that boy.
People always talk about
What?
going through a divorce. I don't know what you want, but every time he came home, she had to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
For like 2 weeks. They lost foot.
Absolutely.
My friend, her husband lives here, and she don't live with him. So she said when he come home, it's like he have to learn how to function in the house. I don't live with him.
Yeah, you don't know him. Then you realize I don't like it. Because all he worried about is his purpose. He ain't coming home to throw you on no pedestal and worship at your footstool and dig in your booty hole and everything else you want him to do. That man, like, I'm tired. I'm trying to chill. Because just like you say, in 13 more days, I got to go right back out here and do it again. You know what I'm saying? And what she thinking about is, I ain't getting no attention. I ain't getting no love. I ain't getting no affection. Why this man won't come in here and worship and love me? But yet he's the reason why you can sit up in the house and do absolutely nothing. You can do whatever you want. You know what I'm talking about? But it's just different. They just paint a different picture. Men who are highly, highly successful are rarely home. They rarely spend time with their wives, and they rarely spend time with their children. You know what I'm talking about? Warren Buffett, old as dust. This man still get up and go to work every single. It don't mean that they don't do it, but they don't do it like what you see them put on TV. Like these dudes home, take their kids to school, pick them up from school. It's only a handful of them that can do it because they love what they're doing. It ain't even about the money. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the money. Yeah, they like to make the money, but it's not about the money. Men are driven by that type of purpose. Like we discussed previously. Do you think because people like to say God is a woman, do you think a woman would have really put in the work that Yahusha put in? Not the sacrifice part. I'm talking about the work. I'm talking about 7 days a week, consistently and constantly feeding people the word and teaching his apostles and his other disciples who follow them. You ain't got time for nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no time for no leisure. That's why Paul wrote to Timothy. Y'all remember what he wrote to Timothy? That you got to be able to endure hardness, to be a good soldier, to him who called you to be a soldier. Because soldiers go off to war. You can't be worried about, what my wife and kids doing. That's going to get you killed. You know what I'm talking about? Can't be concerned with that. And that's a hard pill for people to swallow because they're trying to tell you to be an average, mediocre man. So you're an average, mediocre man. You got time for everybody. You got time for your mama. You got time for your in-laws. You got time for your wife. You got time for your kids. You got time for everything because you ain't got nothing going on. You know what I'm talking about? You can sit home and rub feet and cook dinners and all that. But a man on the ground, I ain't got time to do any of that. You know what I'm saying? My purpose is greater than anything that you can come up with. You know what I'm talking about? And that's why he tell you if you're unmarried, it's better for you because all you got to do is please the Lord. He said, when you get married, now you got to please your wife. Now you got to please your husband. And you're not going to you can't dedicate yourself in that fashion. That's why he also made the statement of, if you walk away from your spouse, and not a literal like abandon her, she on her own. You know what I'm talking about? But to go preach the word, you're going to get a different type of reward. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody can't do that. Everybody don't have the dedication to something to say that I'm going to put this before everything. Everybody can't do that. That's not for everybody. That's why a lot of people don't even need to try to teach word because a lot of them ain't willing to do that. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all know the verse I'm talking about? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Let's look at Matthew 19 because Michael don't look like she know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about? You don't look like it either. Yeah, you weren't paying attention. That's your problem. But you let that nigga pay attention to the haircut. Why? I do. When you were walking in the front door, I seen you. I said, I got about 4 of them for him already. Ain't none of them gonna be as good as how your homeboy slid you about your son. That was classic. That was lame, but we'll take it. No, he said that. He said that's his little man. And he said that little nigga got better handles than you right now as an infant. That's what he supposed to put. He'd have killed him. He said that man got a 680 credit score right now as an infant. That nigga that threw the infant on there that didn't even function. Little Noah, you got better handles than your daddy right now. He said he don't want to put you out there like that. He said he love you too much. He ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Matthew 19 and 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we forsaken all and followed you. What shall we have therefore? Yahushua said unto them, Truly I said unto you, that you which have followed me in the regeneration when the son of Adam shall sit in the throne of his esteem, shall also sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Yasharal. Every one of you that forsaken houses, brethren, sisters, father, mother, wife, children, or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. Many first shall be last, and the last first. See, there's a lot of people that's not going to be willing to do that. Shalom, man. There's a lot of people not going to be willing to do that. That goes back to the point. That's when Luke 9. You remember in Luke 9 when he walked up to the dude, what did he say to him? He walked up to the dude say, man, let me go home and say goodbye to my parents. Oh, let me go bury my father. That man say, man, what is you talking about? Can't put your hand to the plow and looking back. Everybody not fit for that. See, we ain't talking about somebody just, I want to serve Yahuwah. He talking about somebody actually going to do the work. You'd have to be willing to put Yahuwah before everybody and forsake everything and everyone for that particular purpose. And everybody's not willing to do that. You know what I'm talking about? Come on back over here to Psalms that 51. That's not no knock on it, because you know some dudes will look at that like, oh man, you just hate women. Like, nah, man, you gotta. There's a difference between an accomplished man, a successful man, a focused man, and a regular guy. There's a difference. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't ever been around in it, you'd have no idea. Most of us are accustomed people get up and go to work every day. You know what I'm talking about? Even the people who get up and go to work every day don't want to really be in their people's face like that because they tired. You know what I'm saying? They don't work 8 hours, 12 hours. Most of the time, daddy go in the room and go to sleep because he got to get up and go do it again. You know what I'm saying? And it's not necessarily that these gentlemen don't want to be a part of any of those things, but no matter what anybody tell you, it's very difficult to have it all, as they say. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a greatly successful man and then be an intricately involved father at the same time. And an intricately involved husband, that's only on TV. They only craft that image on TV, and then that makes people believe that they want to do it. That's why women believe that they can do it, that she can be highly successful and come home and be a mother and a wife. And it's going to be very difficult for her to do that. You know what I'm talking about? Because her job going to take precedent. Now, when I say, let me not say job, her career. Because I just talk, see, some women have jobs they don't want to go to. You got a career, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know, you know career women, or you know women with jobs? You know both. And them career women can't do nothing for no man. Do you notice that most of them career women probably lonely? Yeah, they can't keep no man because they got the mindset of a man. My job come first. Everything come first. My job is my man. I'm dedicated to that. She ain't coming home talking about let me tend to no dude, let me tend to these children, let me clean this house. She don't want to do that. See, they try mentioning this because they're trying to push this narrative with that lady that they put up there with the Supreme Court for women to keep, for our women to go after that.
That's the lady that she married her white man. She said if she had a black husband, she wouldn't have been.
I'm gonna tell you something, bro. A lot of women can't choose. You can't choose to be a housewife. A man has to select you to be one. They may want to be housewives. I don't even say this here. Most women don't even want to be housewives. They just don't want to work. Oh, you see you see yourself? Is that odd for you? You act like you don't look yourself in the mirror. Don't you? Don't you? You got to sit right here. Fix your clothes. Oh my God. How do y'all like? The brother say being a housewife is a career. Do you ladies feel like being a housewife is a career? You know, they like to put that thing out there about, how much money a housewife should be paid for all that she do. I find it utterly hilarious because she's only afforded the opportunity to do those things that she feels should be paid for because a man has created a life that she could come in to where she wouldn't have to take care of herself. So you're already being paid because you ain't got to pay rent, you ain't got to pay medical insurance, you ain't got to pay a light bill, you ain't got to buy no food, you don't have to pay for your vehicle, you don't have to pay for your car insurance, you don't have to pay for anything. So your salary has already been met and exceeded. No, you know y'all be seeing the jump when they be talking about how much a housewife should be paid based off the work she done. They do that to put in women's minds that they're being oppressed and totally eliminating the fact that the man is put her in a position to allow her to be able to do that. You know what I'm talking about? But see, it's not even about is it a career or not. That's the man makes that determination if she's going to be a housewife. Now, of course, we didn't have this conversation, and a brother I know just had this conversation. Who in the word, we didn't talk about this before. That aspect that women didn't work in Hebrew culture is not real. That didn't happen. Her whole life was dedicated into adding some type of monetary value to her family to benefit her husband's vision. That's a new thing in the earth. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, just that woman sitting at the house cooking and cleaning. There wasn't nothing for them to cook and clean in ancient times like that. For her to be sitting around waiting for you to get to the house, that woman had something to do. You read about that virtuous woman, what she was out there doing, planting vineyards, wasn't it? Huh? Sitting around there making some garments and hustling them in the street. You know what I'm talking about? Not just I'm slaving over a hot stove. Because at the end of the day, once them children get to a certain age, them niggas ain't even in the house. If you ain't homeschooling them, they ain't even in the house. So ain't that much cooking and cleaning to do. And one day, unless you're living like a slob. I would say so. Of a housewife. I would say the origins of the stay-at-home housewife. That's a European concept. You know what I'm talking about? And when I say European, Anglo-Saxon, Western hemisphere, Western culture concept of a woman staying at home, because in the East, women didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't do that. Because if they had vineyards, that woman got out there and helped tend to them vineyards. We know with the children, especially the sons, they went whatever vocation their father was in. Whatever their daddy did for a living, them sons was out there with him learning that vocation because they was going to pick that up when he passed away. And the daughters was behind their mama learning how to be a wife. They'd come home, cook for everybody, and this, that, and the third. Because they didn't have homes like we got now. And even still, especially when you're dealing with rich men, shoot, their wives don't even have to cook or clean anyway because most of them hire cleaning services. Even with a wife. You know what I'm talking about? And some of them, if they're that well off, they got chefs.
I was thinking about that earlier. I told them to go get the animal. She whipped that junk up like Esau whipped that junk up. Oh, she told him to go get the lamb. She
whipped him up.
Cut it.
Remember when they found Rebecca, what she was doing? Out there getting water for the well to feed the flocks. She wasn't sitting at no house. Mom Duke's like, I ain't going out there. What I got you for? You go. Huh? In the cornfield. You think she ain't getting the corn? Oh, my husband died. Now I got to go pluck corn. No, she was plucking corn before he died. You know what I'm talking about? See, now, and again, we're just talking about contracts of scripturally what you see and now what you got going on. Because I seen a lady, she was like, I've only seen, what is it called? The lady said she only seen on the internet men. I mean, that's what a wife was. By definition, she is a servant. She's a servant to her husband. You know what I'm saying? That is her life's duty and job, is to serve her husband. She has no other duty other than that. And she serves him in the capacity that he instructs her to serve in, the same way that you serve Yahuwah in the capacity that he instructs you to serve in. But what she's seen is, she says she's only seeing on the internet men not wanting their women to work. You know what I'm saying? Do you know why men don't really want their women to work if he got some sense? Why y'all think that? And it ain't got nothing to do with the churn either. Because, a lot of people think, I want to at home with the kid. That ain't really why a man don't want his wife to work. Well, see, the only ones who got a bad attitude is because they're dealing with low-ranked men. See, if that's a man she's attracted to and respect as a man, she ain't catching no attitude. She gonna take her black behind to work and drop that check off to him when it come in the mail. Or just like you seen Buddy talking about, we got a direct deposit. That junk hit my account if it's a man she respect. A lot of women who go to work, they with men they don't respect. So that's why he catching that attitude. Most men don't want their wife to work because when she has to work, she has to spend 8 to 10 hours of her day dedicated to someone other than him. And I would rather have all your energy and your time dedicated to me. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want their wife to spend 8 hours a day dedicating her time, her energy, her thought process to somebody else. Because when she come home, she don't want to dedicate nothing to you. Because I done spent 40 hours this week dedicating it to these niggas. You know what I'm talking about? But if I can take 8 to 10 hours of that same time and dedicate it to my husband, she doesn't necessarily mind. And then this is something I done seen with my own 2 eyes. I told you this the other day. It magnifies if her husband can create her a job and pay her for it. Because now she's looking at this is a different type of man. This is a more powerful type of man. It's not many dudes that can take their wife, create for her a job, and then pay her for her job. Not, do this here for me. No, this is your job. You're on payroll. You get paid on this set day. You get paid X amount of dollars an hour, or this is your salary. That causes a different level of respect in her mind. That's exactly what Yahuwah does for you. He created you a job and he pays you a salary for it. You know what I'm talking about? Because I done seen this here with my own two eyes several times in the course of my life. You know what I'm talking about? Especially with my man Henry. My man Henry, wife was a doggone school teacher. She is no longer a school teacher. She works for him and handles all the stuff in his business that he don't want to do. And she absolutely loves it. And he pays her for it. And her level of respect for him is through the roof. I see a nigga can't come in and take your chick in that type of situation. She like, so you gonna give me a job and pay me X amount of dollars a year? Because that's what my husband do. Oh yeah, at that point, she looking at you like, shoot, nigga, this nigga's powerful. That's what separates the Lord from everybody else. I think we read that verse last night. Did we not? About to hire? Where did we read it? I reread it something. All right, in Deuteronomy and Exodus. It's different when you can take somebody and pay them. And they live in your house. Because most men don't want to pay their wife. They feel like you should do it because I'm paying the bills. Versus I gave you a job. And now I'm going to pay you. Because I don't want you to work. If you're going to make some money for somebody, make some money for me. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want you to go make some money for Mr. Charlie or this ugly nigga over here. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Junk different type of deal. I done seen the problem. There's another white dude I know. He retired his wife. His wife was a clinical psychologist. You know what I'm talking about? She don't do that junk no more. She worked for him. And he in the real estate business. She worked for him. He's like, nah, man, you don't do that no more. You're retired. You know what I'm talking about? That junk happens a lot. More than most people think. You just won't see it. When you wonder, we see these white ladies or some of these black women be chilling, their husband done got to a point where they told you, you're retired. They didn't give her an option. They told her, you can quit. That's over with for you. You come on over here. They hold him a different level of respect. Now just imagine that's what the Lord doing for you. He told you was over there in the world, living in all this sin, living in all this stuff. You can quit. Come over here. I got a job for you. And I'm going to pay you. You know what I'm talking about? That's how you're supposed to look at your husband and have a different level of respect. See, most brews don't have that level of respect for him because they want the payment right now. They don't know the payment going to come when your shift over with. And your shift's not over with yet. You know what I'm saying? You get paid in a different type of fashion. You get paid with the ruach. You get paid with certain blessings that he shoots you. You might get paid with some wisdom. You might get paid with some understanding. Your final payment, your severance package, if you will, is an everlasting kingdom. You know what I'm saying? But you get that at the end. He paying you as you go. But as I told you before, most people won't. Absolutely. You're laying up treasure in heaven. You know what I'm saying? It's like putting money back in your IRA, throwing it in your 401k. You know what I'm saying? You're laying that up to be able to pull that out tax-free at a later time. We don't see it that way because we want what we want when we want it. What it is? Psalm 51. Verse 9, that's what we're talking about. Come over here to Isaiah 43 and 25. Let me see if I want to start at 25 or go somewhere else. I said 25, but we might pick something different, young man. 43 and 18. Huh, man? Whole life insurance. Yeah, they be trying to get me to get term life insurance. I don't want that crap. You know what I'm saying? Them people think they be slick. Always calling you, ask you. Them people be calling you for term life insurance. Man, I don't want that junk, man. That junk only for a short period of time, and that junk over with. I want the whole life. You can't even get $1 million policy with term life insurance, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get that type of I want to get that type of life insurance where get the junk built up where you know you can take the money out of it tax-free and buy stuff and flip it. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I got to do next. That's next on my agenda. What we have? 43 and 18 book of Isaiah. I agree with you, bro. Remember you not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Know it shall it spring forth. Now it shall spring forth, excuse me. Shall you not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Do y'all know what he referring to when he says that? Making a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He letting you know he gonna do that again. Praise the Lord, Saran. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, some brews sit back and do it. My man talking about, we should have a Chinatown or a little Italy or a Jewish community. It's a little different because you only gonna have a handful of people. So, I don't know if y'all ever seen Chinatown before? They got a lot of them, depending on what city you live. Huh? Yeah, I know it's one in San Francisco. I know it's one in LA. I know it's one in New York. But it's a lot of them. See, the only reason why I sit back and look at why we probably wouldn't be able to pull that off, because it's going to be unless a whole bunch of brews moved and lived in one city together. Because there's black people as a whole, boy, they not on that. My man, to tell you this here, when I asked y'all about that converting to sinners, a man, big time from Memphis, he went to his homeboys who he grew up with. He said, man, y'all want to get on this Bible? Y'all, that nigga say, them niggas told him, and I quote, F you and that Bible. We trying to get some money. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want to hear that. I be telling you that, though, man. You go to most people, man, they may not say that out their mouth, but that's what they thinking. You know what I'm saying? Man, if this nigga don't get the hell out of my face with this junk, man, I'm trying to get high. I'm trying to do this here. I don't want to hear that. Most of y'all know people be feeling like that because you see it in their eyes. Not on their face, you can see it in their eyes. They like, man, here come this nigga. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn to leave people alone. Because, when you first get on the word, you be real excited. You want to tell everybody. You think everybody going to jump on it like you going to jump on it. And then you find out real quick, like, them people want to hear that. You probably went home, told your whole family, oh, I know my sister's going to get on it with me. They like, man, this whole trip. That's what they were thinking. Man, what's wrong with this whole? You know what I'm saying? Man, she better get out of our face. Don't she know I got a penis date tonight? The other sister like this here, who? It's a carpet for me to eat later. Shoot, that nigga don't get spared. Shoot, she did it to herself. Talking about don't do that. This nigga around here looking like Mr. Peabody. That nigga got a whole low. Them people let you grow your hair out in the Navy. She said, no.
She grew it out after they.
You cut it right back off again. Walking around here with cargo shorts on and the t-shirt like she a dude. Talking about how much meat you want. You ain't got none. To herself. So to herself. So she's gonna be walking around here bumping cooches and then gonna turn around and adopt the baby and damn the baby. Damn.
What did you think about getting the rain?
You know what's sad? Your mama was like probably talked all that trash when you got in the word, then she sit back and look at it. One daughter is a whore. And my other daughter a lesbian. And the one I went off the most is the only one that's doing something positive. I'm screwed with both of you niggas. Of course. I mean, look at him. Nigga look around. My daughter's a lesbian. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. Everybody not accepting the word. That's a reality that I done came to a long time ago. But Saran mentioned that the mother of his kids had been telling him to stop reading the word with his sons anymore. He took two brothers and they came over and they prayed and he went and talked to her and she agreed to relent on that. So let Yahuwah be his thing. He had been fighting a hard battle with that because his mother's children, mother of his children, hate Yahuwah and didn't want him exposing his sons to Yahuwah. But Yahuwah is faithful, to say the least. We in verse 20, Isaiah 43. The beasts of the field shall honor me, the dragons and the owls, because I give waters in the wilderness and rivers to the desert to give drink to my people, my chosen. This people have I formed for myself. They shall show forth my praise. Now that's where we're going to stop at. I want y'all to think about this here. This people I have formed for myself. Form, Yatsar, Yad, Sod, and Rosh. You can give me what you got. It is to form, to fashion, to frame, also to be predetermined, to be preordained, to be formed. Potter, purpose. Yad, Sod, and Rosh. We want to sit back and look at this in this regard. This people have I formed for myself. Yad, Sod, and Rosh. Yod, Sod, and Rosh. What they doing to that baby? Oh, you have to get up. What they doing to that baby? Oh, what they doing to that baby? They doing something to that baby. They doing something to that baby here. Who doing something to that baby? No. No, I wasn't talking about her. I said, did they do something to that baby, Leah? Leah is the baby. Oh, you not a baby? Oh, you my baby? I cared for you when you were a baby. You don't know. What kind of foolishness is this? Joy, why you hiding around that corner? What you over there doing? I'm waiting on y'all. Y'all outside and Rosh. What you doing around that corner, Joy? Hey, Madeline. What you talking about, Ruth? Ruth, put your dress down. Put your dress down, Ruth. Y'all ain't got nothing for the yard, side, and Rosh in regards to form, fashion, frame, predetermined, preordained.
I say the hand of Yahuwah is the way of the highest.
Say that again. The hand of Yahuwah is the way to the highest. Very well. I'll give you Yahusha is the way to the highest. I just want to see if anybody else, it's all the same what you said. You know what I'm talking about? See if anybody else got something, because I have several verses primed, cocked, and ready. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm trying to see if y'all going to have something different that we can stack on top of it. To say to be pulled to it. I can dig it. What is that word, Civic? What is that word? You know what the work of the highest is, according to the text? Do you recall? What y'all done did to that baby? The work is contained in John chapter 6 when he told you what is the work of Alahym, to believe on him whom he has sent. That's when you work in the works of faith. But let's look at it this way, right? He said, these are the people who I have formed for myself. Y'all remember Psalms 139? What's up, boy? You good? You got my money? I need my money, cuz. I need my money on time. Do y'all remember in Psalms 139 when we were speaking about some of that mad fashion about being preordained? Who can remember what's in Psalms 139 about being preordained? No, not in Psalms 139. Say, all my members were formed. They were written in the book. That's dealing with your pre-ordination. Because remember he saying, and it's ironic he mentioned that because Brother Saul was talking about, hey man, we all need to, Yahuwah has to break some down in order for them to accept it. This is a deal. That's what I'm saying. I've learned a long time ago. Everybody's not going. This man has not chosen everybody, nor was everybody formed or fashioned for him. Remember, he said that in Proverbs 16:6, though hand join in hand, the evil won't be unpunished. And he got people that he made for himself, along to what you see in Isaiah 43 right here. There are people that Yahuwah has specifically made for himself. He did not make these people for anybody else. Let's look at Romans 9 in that regard, just real quick, like. What are they doing to that baby? Romans 9 and 15. Well, shoot, make it 13. And that's a hard pill to swallow. Because you know that's the general consensus. But as we already know, Yahuwah has already selected his and rejected who he's going to reject. We know that what? Esau was rejected before he was born. Before he was born, he was rejected. He formed Jacob for himself. He didn't form Esau for. I'm talking about Esau, the original, not his descendants. I'm talking about the family of Esau, their progenitor, their father, Esau, Edom. He was rejected in the womb. That's what the Romans 9 finna go into. We'll back it all the way up. Let the whole thing play. 9 and 6. Not as though the word of Alahym was taking none effect, for they are not all Yasharal, which are of Yasharal. See, boom. We're going to get the whole totality of the point, something that y'all should already know. Just because you're of the house of Yasharal does not mean you're of Yasharal. Where do we have elements of that? He said, don't think that you have Abraham to your father, because Alahym is able to raise sons out of these stones under Abraham. If you were Abraham's seed, you would do the works of Abraham. But you do the works of your father, the devil. That's what he told. You know what I'm saying? So he let them be known, you of the seed of Abraham, but you not of the promise. You's a bastard baby. You were Ishmael. You want a Keturah son. We don't recognize you. It's only one son that Yahuwah recognizes, and that's Isaac. He said that was his only son. And guess who was the oldest son? Ishmael. That's who the oldest son was. Yahuwah didn't even see or recognize Ishmael in comparison to Isaac. You know what I'm saying? Because we know he made a promise to Ishmael, but in comparison to Isaac, he didn't see him. Didn't care nothing about him. He was grossly irrelevant. And guess what? That's the same token when you're dealing with the word now. If you've been formed and fashioned in his frame, he care about you. Bastard churn, he don't care nothing about him. He care less what happened to him. You know what I'm saying? He genuinely don't care. You could fall over and get hit by a truck. You could get hit by a bus. You could get shot. You could go to jail. And that man does not care. You know what I'm talking about? Your wife could have 15 miscarriages back to back. You know what I'm saying? You could have all manner of maladies and cancer. He does not care. If he don't fool with you, he don't care. See, Yahuwah is different than men. You as a flesh and blood person might not fool with somebody, but if something negative happens to them, it will sadden you and you'll be moved to compassion. Once Yahuwah say, I don't fool with you, he don't care what happens to you. Y'all do realize that's what happened with Saul, right? Saul had all type of stuff going on, and Yahuwah did not choose. He did not care. He did not care. He didn't answer him. He didn't send nobody to help. He didn't do any of that. I don't fool with you. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care what happened to you. I wouldn't care if a dog bit you on your butt. You in trouble. And that is true story. It is definitely his sovereign choice. Yahuwah does what he wants, when he wants, how he wants. Verse 7. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all sons, but in Isaac shall your seed be called. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of Alahym, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. This is the word of promise at that time. Well, at this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son, and not only, but when Rebekah conceived by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born. Man, this nigga here crazy as hell. Nah, man, this nigga over here, man. Not none of y'all in here. Neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Alahym, according to election, might stand, not of works, but of him that called. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with Alahym? Alahym forbid. For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that will, nor of him that run, but Alahym that show mercy. For the scriptures say unto Pharaoh, for the same purpose have I raised you up, that I might show my power in you, that my name might be declared throughout the whole earth. So Pharaoh, that Pharaoh specifically, he definitely did. When that Pharaoh specifically, he was made and created, he was born to be destroyed, that the name of Yahuwah might be proclaimed throughout the earth. Now, gospel-wise, and I don't even know if we've done that yet. Maybe we'll do it during Passover. That's an example of Yahushua, that he raised him up that his name might be known. And we could take back and look at everything that happened to Pharaoh was a precursor to what would happen to the Lord, so that the name of Yahuwah might be broadcast in the earth. Because after all those plagues happened to Egypt, y'all know what happened. We heard of you. We heard of Yahuwah. We scared. That's what you read when they came into Jericho, came up all the people. All them people had heard of him because of it. And it's no different than when Yahushua with the apostles going around and they had heard of him because he raised them up, that his power might be made known, that his main name might be declared. Nevertheless, verse 18, therefore he had mercy on whom he will have mercy, and on whom he will harden. You will say then unto me, why do you find fault? For who resists his will? Nay, but O man, who are you that reply against Alahym? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why have you made me thus? Have not the powder power over the clay, the same lump to make one vessel under honor and another under dishonor? That's where you come in with the form, because it mentioned the potter. Remember what we looked at in Jeremiah 18, I believe? He said he had one potter, he broke it, and he fashioned it in the fashion that he wanted to make it. You have people, you have fashioned yourself after the image of death, after the image of ungodliness and sin, and he took that piece of pottery clay and destroyed it and remade you in his image as he saw fit. And some he left them marred in that fashion and said, you're going to stay that way. That's where Ecclesiastes say, who can make straight what he has made crooked? You can't make somebody upright who has determined they will not be upright. There's nothing that you could say, ain't nothing that you could do. There's absolutely nothing that can be done. Absolutely nothing that can be done. Who back here wrestling? Where your dad at?
He's in there.
Well, you go in there with him. Go over there with your dad. More like you stay here to your own device. Can you do that? Eugene, don't get yourself in trouble, boy. I got a toilet to flush you in. Right down the toilet. Let's roll. If Alahym willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endure with such long suffering, the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction, that he might make known the riches of his esteem on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto esteem. Do you see that afore being slid in there? That means that he preordained them to be fashioned for himself. You have a group of people that this man, from every dispensation of time, that Yahuwah has made for himself. I think it's Ephesians chapter 1 that I desire. What you talking about, Ruth? Ain't nobody trying to hear all that. Ain't nobody trying to hear all that, Ruth. Ephesians chapter 1, verse 3. Ain't nobody trying to hear all that, Ruth. Joseph. Now you want to cheese. You feeling good about yourself, huh? You comfortable? You living a life. Blessed be Alahym, Ab of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, who have blessed us with spiritual blessings in heavenly places in Mashiach, according as he have chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be Kadashim without blame before him in love, having predestinated us unto the adoption of sons by Yahushua HaMashiach to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will, to the praise of the esteem of his grace, wherein he hath made us accepted in the beloved, in whom we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of sins, according to the riches of his mercy, wherein he abounded towards us in all wisdom and prudence, having made known unto us the mystery of his will, according to his good pleasure which he has purposed in himself, that the dispensation of the fullness of times, that he might gather together in one all things in Mashiach, both which are in Shamahim and which are on earth, even in him, in whom we have obtained an inheritance, and being predestinated according to the purpose of him who worked all things after the counsel of his own will. Again, this is pointing to the fact that there were people who were already selected. Let me ask you this here, right? Did he go out and pick his apostles? You don't think that these men were already selected before he was manifested in the flesh for him to walk around and say, you, and you come with me? You know what I'm talking about? And the fact that they came. What was Peter doing when he saw when the Lord saw Peter? What was Peter doing? He was fishing. What was Matthew doing when he seen Matthew? He was at work, sitting at the receipt of custom as a tax collector that he was. That man was at work. That man quit his job. That man got up and left his job. Peter left his fishing pole. Not only Peter, his brother came with him. You understand? So when you're looking at this, these men were already selected and chosen. These are men who are selected for himself. That's why I sit back and tell you, man, if the man done called you, that means you have an opportunity. This man done selected you for himself. You're not getting selected for anybody else. See, that goes back to the analogy we were talking about with the housewife. See, a woman can't choose to be a housewife. A man has to choose her. You know what I'm talking about? A woman can want to be a housewife all she wants. But if a man don't choose her, and then he hasn't put himself in a position in life that he can make her that, she can never be that. Because we know 95% of women, if you give them an option to never work again, they're not working. I don't care all this boss chicks, these chicks we talking about, they ain't going to do it. They ain't going to do it. Because we done had this conversation before. No woman wants to work till she's 60, 70, and 80 years old. They don't want to do it. You don't want to work for the rest of your life. It's certain type of women who have to work for the rest of their life. They're belligerent and disciplinary problems. I'm serious, bro. Belligerent, non-cooperative, disrespectful, rude women who are disciplinary problems must work for the rest of their life. Highly unattractive women work for the rest of their life. You know what I'm talking about? Morbidly obese women work for the rest of their life in general. Because no man's going to come in and say, I'm going to upgrade your life to where you don't have to be concerned about taking care of yourself. That doesn't happen in general. How many ugly women you know been sitting at the house chilling, doing nothing? I ain't talking about living off the government. I'm talking about a man of his worth, taking care of her. Shoot, lying to me. Yeah, you know, women always say that, but yet every time you see a rich nigga, you don't never see no rich nigga with no ugly woman. Because the ones you see who got ugly women, she was with before he got it. And then when them niggas get it, they get rid of the ugly hoe because now they like, I ain't got to be with this ugly hoe no more. You know what I'm talking about? See, a man only gonna stay with a woman if that's all he can get. Then when he like this here, shoot, I got money now. Bump her. Man, come on, man. Ja Rule been with his wife for years, but he was with her before he had some money. And guess what he been doing? She can stay around because I done married her. I'm gonna smash these other hoes though. They can still be sliding other women, but they were with him before they had it. You find a man who ain't had no wife, and then he gets some money, oh, he's not marrying no ugly woman. She's not doing it. He doesn't have to. That's just like a very attractive woman. She don't have to get with no bum till she's 40, and her titties touching her kneecaps, and it's wrinkled somewhere. You know what I'm talking about? But oh yeah, you find a nigga with some money, they don't get no ugly hoe. Because a lot of niggas who get money, they ain't never had women before they got the money, so they don't know how to act. That's how you know a nigga lame. He just running around having sex with everything after he got some money. That means he never had women before. He couldn't get them. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up and down. Y'all know I ain't lying. He couldn't get them. But best believe, if a man gets some money, see, we're not talking about the chick that was with you when you was working at Burger King, then you decided to quit. You know what I'm talking about? And say, I'm going to put my energy into doing this right here. And you married her, and she been with you the whole time. You know what I'm talking about? You're going to bless her. You're going to look out for her. She was there. You know what I'm talking about? But boy, if you hit your number, and now you work a meal, 2-3 meals, oh, no, man. Them niggas going to get the baddest chick they can find. Usually they going to get drugged through the mud.
And to your point, too, like, niggas having like an average chick, you gonna try to upgrade by buying her booty and the breast done.
Some of them niggas do that. Them cornball niggas go buy a booty, get her some doggone face surgery and all that type of stuff. Because it's the status, especially if they concerned with running in particular type of circles. Because the level of attractiveness of your woman, definitely amongst men of a higher status, speaks to your level of eliteness. You know what I'm saying? If you dealing in a circle of elite men, you can't walk in there with no mud duck and think these boys gonna respect you. You know what I'm talking about? You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't walk in there with no ugly chick. It's everybody in here worth $10 million or more, and here you come in here with this hoe. The only way they're gonna respect it is she was with you when you were young. That's the only way they're gonna respect it. Even still, you don't want to take her nowhere. You know what I'm talking about? They just hear about your wife, they never see her. You know what I'm talking about? Well, I done heard a story about that. You looking crazy to play with it. Because y'all not men, so you don't understand. It's the same token that if you around certain type of women, you and your nigga broke, you not taking him around your friends. You not taking him around your social circle. You're embarrassed. You don't want to bring him in here talking about, oh yeah, he work at Burger King. No matter how you clean him up, no matter what suit you put on him, you don't want to take him around these women because you're embarrassed. You don't want to mention that. You don't want to do it. Of course, we don't run in those type of circles, so we don't know. But I've been around people who've been in them type of circles. I heard stories. That stuff means something to them. It do. We black people, we don't have them type of problem. But you got a black elite, and they'll look down. Every woman know that. Almost every woman out here asks a man what he do for a living, and that allows her to judge what manner of respect she gonna give him based off his response. Or what you do for a living. Oh, I'm a mechanic. She already looked at it. No, that nigga broke. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about in general. That's what women do. No matter race. It's not a black woman thing. It's not a white woman thing. It's a woman thing. Because if you're going to sit back as a woman and you think you're going to be moved by the nigga who work at Tire Plus versus a nigga who the CEO at Tire Plus, you're lying. You're lying because you're looking at this here. He's got power and money. He don't. I don't want to fool with him. If I had the choice, is you going to pick the tire mechanic and be happy in your mind, or you going to pick the CEO nigga and live a very comfortable life of leisure? Most women going to pick the life of leisure. Only in the movies that she get with the lesser man. D has a cornball movie on with that jump, man. Some chick finna marry a doctor, and then you get with some old broke nigga drawing pictures at the beach. You know what I'm talking about? The end of the movie, she married this nigga. You know what I'm talking about? They talking about, oh, we ain't supposed to been together. We were just doing it because of this here. In real life, that woman ain't giving a damn. I'm going where the money at. I'm finna be comfortable. I'll be with him and be miserable for 3 to 5 years, divorce him and leave with his money. These white women, you know, they do stuff like that in advance. Y'all laughing. You know them. You know them type of movies D like to watch. D know she on here. She watch. You know what I'm saying? It was something, man. Oh, that's her thing. She liked them. She liked them type of movies. Whether it's just to be on, or she really be watching. That movie was gay because that dude knew she had a man, and he still was trying to talk to her. Let's come back to Isaiah, man. Do y'all see that in that regards to these are people whom he has formed for himself? You were formed for you. You were formed for your mama and your daddy. You see him over there? He got vittles for you. Does he got vittles for you? You just want to look at yourself in the camera. That's all you want to do. Verse 21, Isaiah 43. The people I have formed for myself, they show forth my praise. They said that sounds like the Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Y'all seen that film? I'm not familiar with that film. Yeah, I ain't.
Yeah, but shoot, the nigga put the girl out.
He put her out?
Yeah, the dude rich, he put the girl out and got like a quote unquote more attractive woman.
That's why she had a diary of a mad black woman. That's it.
I can see why she would be mad.
I can see why she would be upset. He left me. Ain't that what happened on Waiting to Exhale when she set the nigga stuff on fire? He got him old younger version. Verse 22, man, I ain't fooling with y'all. He say, but you have not called upon me, O Jacob. You have been weary of me, O Yasharal. You have not brought me the small cattle of your burnt offerings. Neither have you honored me with your sacrifices. I've caused you to serve with an offering. I have not caused you to serve with an offering, nor wearied you with incense. You have brought me no sweet cane with money. Neither have you filled me with the fat of your sacrifices. But you have made me to serve with your sins and have wearied me with your iniquities. I, even I, am he that blot out your transgressions for my own sake, and will not remember your sins. Put me in remembrance, let us plead together. Declare that you may be justified. Your first fathers sinned, and your teachers have transgressed against me. Therefore I have profaned the princes of the sanctuary, and have given Jacob to the curse, and Yasharal to the reproaches. Let's deal with this. Let's deal with the blot out. Now we got blot out, right? You got Makah once again to blot out and exterminate. You already know that. You know what transgressions is rebellion. Zakar should be there for remember, and it is. Now, when did he blot out your transgressions in regard to the gospel? Easy question. That's a layup for you. On the what? What, T-bone? Ribeye? Shoot, I like A1 sauce on mine. You look like you like Heinz 57.
I don't.
You ain't cooking it right.
You gotta add more than just the steak. Oh, I thought y'all would know this one very easily. He blotted out the Trent. Let me bring Isaiah 44 on board. Oh, you done took your hat off. No. Come on to 44 and 22. Maybe Isaiah 44 and 22 will help you out. Go ask your mama, put your hat on. Let me see. I ain't gonna start at 22. She was looking for you too. She said, I need some help. I know who can help me. 44 and 15. No, not take, eat, this is my body. I would see why you would say that. Maybe Isaiah 44 helped you out a little bit more than 43 did. We're going to deal with some stuff at the back end of 43. But let's deal with that. 44 and 15. Nah, make it 44. Make it 44 and 8. Isaiah 44 and 8. Fear you not, neither be afraid. Have I not told you from that time and declared it? You are my witnesses. Is there a God beside me? Yea, there is no Alahym. I know not any. They that make a graven image, all of them are vanity. The delectable thing shall not profit. They are their own witnesses. They see not nor know that they may be ashamed. Who form a god or a molten graven image is profitable for nothing. Behold, all his fellows shall be ashamed. The workmen, they are of men. Let them be gathered together. Let them stand up. Yet they shall fear, and they shall be ashamed together. The smith with the tongs both work in the coals and fashion it with the hammers. Work it with the strength of his arms. Yea, he is hungry. His strength fail. He drink no water and is faint. The carpenter stretch out his rule. He mark it out with a line. He fit it with planes. He mark it out with the compass. He make it after the figure of a man, according to the beauty of a man, that it might remain in the house. He hew him down cedars and take the cypress and oak which he strengthened for himself among the trees of the forest. He planted an ash, and the rain do nourish it. Then shall it be for man to burn. He'll take thereof and warm himself. Yea, he kindle it and bake bread. Yea, he make a god and worship. He make a graven image and fall down thereto. He burn part thereof in a fire. With the part he eat flesh. He roast and is satisfied. He warm and say, I am warm. I have seen the fire. And the residue thereof he make a god, his graven image. He fall down unto it and worship it. And pray unto it and say, deliver me, for you are my God. They have not known or understood. They have shut their eyes. They cannot see in their hearts that they cannot understand. And none consider in his heart, neither is there knowledge nor understanding to say, I have burned part of it in the fire. Yea, I have baked bread upon the coals thereof. I have roasted flesh and eaten it. Shall I make the residue thereof an abomination? Shall I fall down to the stock of a tree? Now, I just want you to know that he was being very disrespectful to anybody who make an idol, because he said they were too stupid to realize that you cooked this nigga and you worshiped it. The very fire that you put this in, you took it out and fell down and worshiped it. You have to be a simpleton to do such a thing. And you really do. Do you understand how stupid a nigga got to be to see these shrines these niggas be making in their house? You know what I'm saying? Niggas be bowing down to shrines of dead niggas in their house. They got ashes in the nigga house. They bowing down to it. Nigga, you're insane. What is wrong with you? I don't even know why niggas keep ashes of a dead nigga in the house. I ain't keeping no dead nigga in my house. Man, I was tripping. We was looking at it was some cemetery popped up because something came up. I was thinking about Robert Kardashian and how he died. Because I couldn't remember how he died. He had throat cancer. You know what I'm talking about? But then it mentioned the cemetery where he was buried. And it's a private cemetery in LA. Then it mentioned notable people who were buried there. But it's really because I was thinking about Sammy Davis Jr. Because I was telling D, I remember they showed his funeral on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like this was 1990. I was literally watching this nigga funeral on TV. And then it was when we looked at where he was buried at, and they said these people would literally cremate a nigga and then put him in a tomb. So you still paid for because you know in California, a lot of niggas be in mausoleums, you know what I'm talking about, especially niggas who got some money. You know what I'm talking about? So they cremated the nigga and then put his ashes in a crypt. And I'm like, why not just put the body in there? You know what I'm talking about? But it's akin to something like that because people do that. You basically done burn something up, you done put it to the flame, and now you standing here and you worshiping it, and you ain't understanding what that got going on. Now we were just looking at certain people, and it was funny that a lot of them died from throat cancer because they smoked a lot. Because it said Sammy Davis Jr. had the option of having his larynx removed, and he said that he would rather die than have his throat taken out. Mm-hmm. And he died too. Shortly after, he did. They ended up still taking his larynx out, a piece of it, and he died not too long after that. Because I think they said this nigga smoked 4 packs of cigarettes a day. Do you understand how many cigarettes are in a pack? 20. Look, but you said that quick. You smoke some damn thing. At least I hang with truck drivers, yeah. I used to smoke cigarettes, and I never smoked a pack of them. Like 80 cigarettes in a 24-hour period. Like, nigga, as soon as you smoke the cigarette, you lighten the next cigarette with that cigarette. I'm talking about, I ain't never seen. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, boy. Big Lank Mama, when we were young, man, we used to go in there and peel for all the Virginia Slims out her car because she would never finish them. So she'll smoke a cigarette, smoke half of it, put it out. You know what I'm saying? Come back later, she'll do the same thing. So you know what I'm saying? We'd be able to slide through there, you know what I'm talking about? Day one. She never missed them. She ain't coming back to smoke. You know what I'm saying? Light another. Before I even started smoking, man, y'all have mercy on us soul. Grandma Simple used to be in the back room smoking Winston after Winston. So nigga, I come home, Mom Duke's thinking I've been smoking cigarette the whole time. I've been at Bruce's house. Grandma been in the back. 3-4 packs of Winston every day. That's what she died from too, lung cancer. Burning down in the back. You know what I'm saying? Man, I got to the point, cigarettes and weed, man, give me the weed. I don't want to be smoking. I smoke cigarettes. No. Ounce of weed in a day, I smoke a whole ounce of weed. No problem. Pack of cigarettes? Absolutely not. If I run through a pack of cigarettes because let me get a cigarette. Shoot, take that junk. They junk ain't but $3 a pack. Nigga, get you one. You know what I'm saying? Smoke 80 in a day? No, that nigga breath was stank. You know what I'm talking about? That's a lot of cigarettes, yo. 80 cigarettes? That's a lot of cigarettes, man. You know what I'm talking about? That's a lot of cigarettes. Whole bunch of cigarettes. More cigarettes than I'd ever want to smoke. You don't get no buzz from no cigarette. Man, you don't get a nicotine rush from them cigarettes, but from the first time. After that, it's habit. You know what I'm saying? Or you get some type of relaxation or whatever after certain activities. But you don't get no buzz. You know what I'm saying?
That's why niggas going back to it.
Some niggas do, some niggas don't. Some niggas smoke cigarettes and quit. You got some niggas be more addicted to coffee than they is to cigarettes. Oh, I do a few people who like this here. It does. Oh yeah, man. I need to say an ounce of a day. Oh man, in my youth, man, ounce of they smoke an ounce of reefer. That's nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Absolutely nothing. Especially back then, smoking Dutchess. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They wasn't smoking cigarillos in our day. You know what I'm talking about? Big blunts. You know what I'm saying? El Productos and all that there, man. You know what I'm saying? Big blunt, stuffed. Like this here. Walk around greased all day long. Light him. Light him. You know, the El Producto, that was the north side blunt. That's what, you know what I'm saying? That's what them boys over here smoke. You know what I'm saying? Niggas on the south was known for smoking Optimals. You know what I'm talking about? At that time. You know what I'm saying? About 2000, about 99, 2000, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm saying 01. I went to them Dutches. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying I went to them Dutches. Yeah, hey, man, I was young, man. They said, that's ridiculous. I mean, that nigga Booby got some purple haze. And he said, well, you ain't gonna know it's orange haze, excuse me. They said, well, you ain't gonna be able to smoke all that. I said, all right, watch me. And he said, boy, that nigga, I would sleep off that junk. I said, yeah, okay. You know what I'm talking about? Rolling, smoking, that nigga like this. And then he said, you still going? Shoot, roll another one. I said, I'm not smoking no more of this. Well, shoot, nigga, don't challenge me no good time talking about I'm going to sleep. You know what I'm talking about? I got a high tolerance, nigga. I smoke marijuana.
I wish I had $8 back.
Ooh, nigga, we smoking. We see they ain't have what they got now. See this stuff they got now, nigga. That junk GMO. That ain't no gas, nigga. Nigga, that junk genetically modified. You know what I'm saying? Junk gonna have you to crash, nigga. You gonna have cancer on your neck. You know what I'm talking about? Big legions. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, shoot, niggas smoke, man. For me, it was a pastime. You know, I told y'all that before. I just like to smoke. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed smoking marijuana. I enjoyed the entire process. I enjoyed getting my blunt. I enjoyed sitting in my car or on the block with breaking my weed down in my bill. You know what I'm talking about? Dropping them in there and rolling them. I enjoy riding around in my car listening to Nita Baker getting greased. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, I didn't just start listening to Nita Baker. Nita Baker is my favorite artist of all time. Screw every rapper who ever picked up a microphone. That's their cousin. She need to get her some tickets. You know what I'm saying? Ride by playing Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson. Police don't know what's going on. I'm getting greased. There's plenty dope in the car. They ain't gonna stop me. They were listening for nigga music. Ain't no nigga music coming out of here. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't none coming out of here. Huh? No. You talking about nigga music. You know what I'm talking about. You trying to be a funny guy. Verse 21. Got something for you, buddy. Hey, remember these, O Jacob and Yasharal. You are my servant. I have formed you. You are my servant. O Yasharal, you shall not be forgotten of me. And here we are. I have blotted out as a thick cloud your transgression, as a cloud your sins return unto me, for I have redeemed you. Now take that one and put that with the one in Isaiah 43, and then tell me what you get out the gospel. Uh-oh, there it is. Nisha said, I'm still stumped. I don't know. You was on the right track. Then you jumped off. You went off the rails, as the white people like to say. Well, it says Joe Rogan. That's Joe Rogan line. You went off the rails, bro. Look at you, Michael. You must watch Joe Rogan. You went to teasing. You watch Joe Rogan? You watch the whole 3-hour monologue, don't you? I only do clips. You got even I am he that blot out your transgressions for my own sake and will not remember your sins. I have blotted out as a thick cloud your transgressions and as a cloud your sins return unto me, for I have redeemed you. D said that sounds like torture for Sammy Davis smoking all them cigarettes. I remember when we first started smoking cigars. My homeboy like, well, you ain't supposed to inhale that. I was like, well, shoot, why is we smoking it? Man, them cigars were nasty, man. I said, man, I'm gonna stick to reefer, cuz. I need to say, stop breathing in his face, cuz. Let him live for a minute. Oh, y'all ain't figured it out yet? Nobody's figured it out? I gave you 2 instances that make it a winner. Chicken dinner. Renee. It is finished. What does it smell like? Do you like it? Isaiah 45, 44, and 22. Isaiah 43 and 25. Can you relate these to the gospel? I thought y'all have it easy. Easy one with that. I guess I was wrong.
43 and 25?
43 and 25 and 44 and 22 together. Of course, blotted out again is Makah. Thick cloud. Thick cloud is Ab, darkness of cloud, thicket. There it is. I told you had to stay. You had to add up. Did I say that? Nah, that nigga there with the rabbits, man. Come over here to Amos, man. We'll add Amos on top of it. No, Amos 8, excuse me. If I said 9, my apology. Amos 8. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's it. Amos 8 and 7. Oh, you got in trouble, Eugene? Mm-hmm. Because you're hard-headed. Yeah, Abby. Abby. She got a different one than Lizzie got. Don't rub it. Oh, you like that too? 8 and 7. Amos. You who are sworn by the excellency of Jacob, surely I will never forget any of your works. Shall not the land tremble for this? Everyone that mourn that dwell therein shall rise up wholly as a flood, and it shall be cast out and drowned by the flood of Mizraim. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahuwah, Alahym, that I will cause the sun to go down at noon, and I will darken the earth in the clear day. And I will turn your feast into mourning, and all your songs into lamentation. And I will bring upon sackcloth upon all loins, and baldness upon every head, and I will make it as the mourning of an only. See, sun isn't there, and at the end thereof is a bitter day. But let's look at what we got for only sun that should be there. No, when you see it in italics, that means that they added that. So when they have that only, you have your kid. Y'all remember your kid? That was the same word that's used in Psalms 66, if I'm not mistaken. Psalm 68, where it says, Alahym set solitary in the families. Solitary being your kid. Your kid literally means only begotten son. So he said you're going to mourn as the only begotten son. And remember what they said about the only begotten son? We read it last night when he told the woman, your sins are forgiven. They say only Alahym can forgive sins. Because remember verse 25 in Isaiah 43 said what? I blot out your transgression. Even I am he. Then you come over to 44 and 22 and you see that he does what? He uses a cloud to blot them out. Why is this important? Because David is asking for his sins to be hidden, to hide himself from his sins. This also dealing with what we were talking about last night on deliver me from blood guiltness. What was David guilty of? Murder. You know what I'm talking about? And at the end of the day, what was the great sin that Yasharal committed out of all sins besides idol worship? It was murder. What does the law say what must happen if you shed innocent blood in the land? Blood has to be shed in order to cleanse the land of the blood. So how are we going to be delivered from this same blood guiltness? See, we ain't no different than what David did to Uriah the Hittite. If you look at it, you went ahead and took your God and put him on the front line of the hottest battle, hoping by hands of another people that he would be killed so you wouldn't have to kill him and you could be free and absolved from the guilt. You know what I'm talking about? Remember what the scribes and Pharisees said? If we don't do this, we're going to lose our what? We're placing nation. Let's send him out to the hottest part of the battle and get him killed so we can take his wife. We want Bathsheba. You understand? It's just the same thing. It's all the same book, and they work in the same fashion, and it causes the enemies of Yahuwah to be able to blaspheme. Because what how did the Roman centurions blaspheme Yahuwah when dealing with Yahuwah when they were killing him? What were some of the things that they did to blaspheme? No, not that. That's what our people did, but he didn't mention. The Romans who put the crown of thorns on his head. The Romans were the one who took the reed and slapped him in the mouth with it. The Romans were the ones who put the robe on him and bowed the knee and mocked him. They were blaspheming. You know what I'm saying? Now, what our people did, that's something else that was in Job 16 that we was looking at the other day. They derided him or they ridiculed him. Oh, if you be the son of God, come down from the tree. He saved others, he can't save himself. See, they were ridiculing him, mocking him, if you will, being scornful. The Romans just outright blaspheme. You know what I'm talking about? Now, our people, you can look at the blasphemy when they spit in his face and then slapped him and say, prophesy unto us, O Mashiach. See, that's blasphemy. You know what I'm talking about? That's blasphemy. People don't even realize that, man, especially when you're dealing with most of our people operate blasphemy because you choose Barabbas just like they did. And you remember what Barabbas' name mean, right? Y'all remember what his name mean, don't you? Look it up if you don't. You ain't gonna get murdered from that, Johnny. Listen to the name, Barabbas. What should stand out? Mm-hmm. Well, one, you got Ab, so you got father in his name. Look it up, though. Tell me what you find. In the chat, tell me what you find what the name of Barabbas means. Who's doing all that crime? That's why I said that, Johnny. That Ab stand out. So you know you got father in his name. What they doing to that baby? That's right, son of my father. I'm getting to that. What was Barabbas locked up for? Murder and what else?
No, he said
wrong word. Wrong. Right terminology, but the wrong word. No, because he couldn't commit a mutiny because you have to be under somebody's authority in order to commit mutiny. Y'all know what mutiny is, right? No, mutiny is when you rebel against your commanding officer.
That's why I said on the third. I thought that was like when you run off from the army.
No, that's going AWOL. No, overthrowing authority. But that has to be authority. That has to be authority that you have already submitted yourself to be mutiny. That's right. Saran has hit it. Rebellion, aka an insurrection. Which you know, I didn't hear you. Or another word for insurrection is a revolution. That's when you rebel against a political structure. No, treason would be divulging state secrets and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Which means you would actually have to be aligned with the government in order to commit treason. You know what I'm talking about? I think somebody been locked up in my lifetime in America for treason, but I don't think he got convicted. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they did charge him with treason, but they ain't never catch Sweet Booty. No. If you had American secrets as a regular person and you sold them to China, you done committed treason, and treason is punishable by death. But I don't think the U.S. government does executions anymore. Yeah, I don't think they do federal executions anymore.
But this is often with CIA.
Yeah, more than likely, you ain't gonna come back to the house. But if you get locked up, you know what I mean? You might end up like Aaron Hernandez, you know what I'm talking about? With a Illuminati emblem on your forehead, talking about how much you love your gay lover hanging in the cell that you can't hang from. You know what I'm saying? Oh, believe you me. But niggas ain't hanging themselves in prison, man. That's the greatest lie ever told. Nigga, that's only in the movies, man. Ain't nobody hanging themselves in prison. It's impossible. It's outright impossible. You know what I'm saying? The only way a nigga hang himself in prison is if he on the top tier and he hang himself from the top tier. And you ain't gonna have a chance to do all that before a CO get in there and get your stupid butt from up there.
Oh, you on the top side of the dome?
No, I'm talking about if there's stairs up to a top tier that you can take and hang yourself from. Ain't no nigga hanging themselves from in their cell. Ain't nothing in your cell to hang yourself from. Man, I ain't believe that junk if you want it. Man, it was the nigga I knew was in the suicide cell, man. You in there butt naked. And they say he hung himself in the suicide cell. Come on, man.
Yeah, contract.
What, his penis? The nigga was naked.
He went in there with that.
Huh? Man, I don't believe none of that junk when them niggas talking about being nigga hanging themselves in prison. Y'all went in there and beat that man to death. And then talking about then hanging nigga talking about he hung himself. Because the nigga who got killed in the prison I was at, that nigga had boot marks on his chest. Nigga's stomach was bruised. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I've been back there when somebody got killed. I done told y'all that. I can't remember the name right now. A little ugly nigga, man. Cedric Braswell. That was his name. You know what I'm talking about? They beat that nigga to death. I'm talking about black dude, man. And the black dude, the one who killed him. Black CO killed him. Because matter of fact, after they pulled that nigga dead body out of there, nigga, we was in the box. That nigga was walking down the lane. That nigga like, yeah, nigga, death row, nigga called me Suge Knight. I'm like, this old punk nigga here, man, we ought to all stab this nigga in his throat. You know what I'm saying? Because the nigga who he killed, nigga was kind of slow, man. Nigga used to be in his cell, banging his head up against the desk. You know what I'm talking about? Because we was in administrative confinement. That's before they give you your time in the box. That's how he got back there. When they got him back there, man, they beat that nigga to death, man. You know what I'm talking about? Man, them cracker beat, man. Look here, man. Nigga come up dead in prison. Man, unless an inmate got him. Man, look here, man. I put money them white folk killed him. Every single solitary time, boy, I put money on him. Who? They probably do got that whole man. Shoot. You know what I'm saying? She probably around there eating Russian coochie, whatever they got going on. That's what they say, man, but who knows? But they say she been locked up. She might not be locked up, man. This might be a contrived storyline, man. She might be somewhere eating coochie, you know what I'm talking about? Doing her thing. You know what I'm talking about? Who? That's what she do.
She have to get locked up to do that.
I mean, but they saying we got to use you. You know what I'm saying? You go over here, you know, smoke your hash, eat your box. You know what I'm saying? We got you. Because they are talking about, what about Brittany Griner? We're not fighting for her. No one cares about lesbians. Nobody cares. You know what I'm talking about? You want me to have fake outrage for a lesbian. May that abominable whore perish in her iniquity. You know what I'm talking about? Yes, a whistleblower is different than treason. No, Muffin has asked that. Is a whistleblower the same as treason? A whistleblower is a snitch. It is a corporate way to say that I'm a rat. I can't say you're a rat because you're not really any of those things, because a whistleblower doesn't live by the rules of criminality. That's what they call it in the corporate world, a whistleblower. You know what I'm talking about? Of course, in the streets, that means something totally different. You don't want to be a whistleblower. I know it because your mind in the gutter, because all you've been doing is listening to the yin yang. You want to blow the whistle. That's all you want. Hey, he on there. It ain't his song. They was on there with him. Shoot, sound like something there, mate.
Yeah, make anything.
No, I was definitely talking about what I said the first time. What's up, boy? But yeah, guess what? But in the house of Yasharal, you supposed to be a whistleblower because you supposed to tell. Matter of fact, you supposed to tell. You and the law, if a nigga came up worshiping another god, you supposed to tell. Somebody around here enticing people to do X, Y, Z, you supposed to tell. I didn't. I said only if you're living in a life of criminality. See, if you're living in a life of criminality, you ain't supposed to tell. Because you all evil and you joined in. You can't tell on a nigga you was participating in the evil. Hoping you'll get a lesser punishment. The Lord, she was eating coochie too. No, you both going in here. Yeah, they no lesser charge. Don't you realize something, man? All jokes aside, the dudes that rat end up getting more time than the dudes they told on. Nobody likes a rat. The prosecutors don't like rats. The police don't like rats. It is true. I ain't got to be all the time, but what I'm telling you is, oh, what your cousin in there for? What are you in there for? Well, shoot, that what happened, nigga. That nigga robbed somebody. And how much time your cousin got? Well, how many charges did they have? They get that nigga the max. That nigga went to trial? No, so he went to trial. That's why he got 30 years. He didn't take a plea bargain. Yeah, of course. He took the plea bargain, he wouldn't have got 30 years. He probably offered himself, man, I ain't taking himself. I'm going to take it to trial. And now you trialing every day, crying, talking about you need some money on your book. That nigga probably took that time. He knew he didn't want to take it. That nigga thought he could beat it. Was he innocent? You believe it because he's your cousin. But deep down in your heart, you know that nigga did it. Oh yeah, he did it. That'd be some junk. Your son on TV slapping a nigga with a pistol, gun all in his face. Not my sweet baby. That's my sweet baby. I remember when he was 2, I used to hold it whole time. He's slapping this lady with the pistol. That's not my son. That's not my son. That ain't my son. Not your baby. That's what every woman say. Guess what? Your baby is a threat to human life. He slapped that man. He just robbed me. Come on back over here to Isaiah, man. Psalms, I should say. All jokes aside, though, y'all is the problem in the community. Because y'all be the ones that get on the news. They killed my baby. He was a good son. Your son was a hellion. Your son was out here working abominations with his friends. Your son out here coming home 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. This nigga 16. You ain't saying nothing. What you think he doing? He coming home 2, 3. Then you saying he got to go. Then when he go and he get locked up, he was my baby. But man, didn't you put him out when he was 6? But that's my baby. He wouldn't hurt nobody. Man, we caught him with 3 guns. He's on tape robbing the lady. It wasn't me. That's what you want to say. It was him. They caught him with the pistol. It wasn't me. And again, of course, that comes to blot out all the iniquities, right? We come to the key component, the most important component of it all, and that's creating in me a clean heart. Now, what is the process that goes about in order to create a clean heart? D say that was Queso Mama on the news. Yeah, this nigga get on the song. This nigga dead. This nigga dead.
No hospital game.
No hospital game. Make your face go. They call this nigga face go. Kill a nigga, get your nails done. That nigga literally nickname is literally face go. Do you understand why he has that nickname? Face go. Face go. That nigga get a high-powered rifle and shoot you in your face till your face gone, so your people have to do a closed casket funeral. Because you can shoot a nigga till his face is gone, the way you're unrecognizable. We got create, which is bara. Bot, Rosh, and Alahym. You tell me what you got. It is create, shape, or form. Create, shape, or form. Who's making all that noise? Why you making all that noise, little girl? Huh? You gonna get popped right on your butt again. Is Muffin making all that noise? Is Muffin making all that noise? Bot, Rosh, and Alahym. Yeah, all jokes aside, man. That's the word for create. Create. Barak. Bot, Rosh, and Alahym. All jokes aside, man. A lot of black women don't ever want to believe that their son is capable of doing all manner of wickedness. And that's why a woman ain't got no business raising a son by herself, because you're going to coddle and you're going to lie, you're going to make excuses for him, or you're going to go to the extreme and get in an emotional wreck and beat the brakes off the boy and emasculate him in that fashion. I can dig it. The strength of the highest is the son. Civics say to be in the mind of the father. I mean, that's why they tell you that out of the people that's incarcerated, 70 to 80% of them come from a single parent home. You know what I'm saying? Because that woman is not going to hold that boy accountable. She is not going to believe that her son is capable of doing any of the things that people say that he out there doing. And the thing is, she know he out there doing it. I mean, his father is a criminal. And his father is a criminal from my day. A known killer. Yeah, that nigga from your neighborhood. That nigga from around. That nigga's a known killer. Now, I ain't talking about like old nigga on the right. This nigga's a known killer. Man, bump that junk with his sons. I'm talking about nigga late 90s, early 2000s. This nigga's a stone cold killer. You know what I'm saying? That nigga's a real gangster. That nigga come from a family of gangsters. Yeah, that nigga dad is a real gangster. I'm talking about a legend in this city. You know what I'm talking about? Son of the highest power. So shoot, I mean, but that was gonna happen because it wasn't like he don't, even though his parents weren't married, he don't come from a single parent home. His daddy was heavily involved. That's why them niggas criminals. You know what I'm saying? That's why them niggas criminals. His daddy a criminal. All his sons are criminals. That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? Some niggas get born into a gangster family. Guess what that means? They weren't created and formed for Yahuwah. Yahuwah has nothing to do with those men. They were created and formed for his wrath to be upon that entire bloodline. They were made for the sword. You know what I'm saying? They were made for the Lord to kill him. Some of y'all know people who got families and all the sons got killed. Play with it. Either it was a curse on that family or the sons of the wicked are made for the sword. Man, Yahuwah don't play. You have a woman, oh, my sons are dead. Yahuwah made sure of it. I'm going to kill them all. Every single solitary last one of them ain't leaving none of them on the earth. They disgust me. They're vile in my sight, and I will remove them. Didn't we just read the other day, he said, I'm smiting your sons, and you niggas still don't consider? But that's Yahuwah killing each other. You know what I'm talking about? Men may pull the trigger and have the thoughts, but Yahuwah like this here, I'll get their attention one way or another. And Yahuwah usually gets your attention by killing people. See, before he try to get your attention, he try to get it with warning you with the word. And when that don't work, he start killing people. And y'all done seen that, y'all done read that, y'all know that. Before he started killing people in Egypt, he tried to warn them with the word, they didn't want to listen. You know what I'm talking about? Before the Babylonians came and ransacked you, he tried to warn you with the word, but you ain't want to listen. Before the Syrians came to take away the northern kingdom, he tried to warn them with the word, they didn't want to listen. Chronicles tell you the only reason he didn't come through here because he had compassion on them because of his name being placed in that city, but people didn't want to listen. Don't you know what Proverbs 29 say? He that hearteth in his neck, he that is rebuked, you know what I'm saying, continually, he going to be destroyed and without remedy. That man get tired of talking. After that, he start killing. You remember what's in Ezekiel? You don't think he was warning them people about not worshiping other gods? And what he ended up telling them? Start at the sanctuary, man. Kill everybody. Babies and all. You know what I'm talking about? See, when people hear that, what type of God would do that? The type of God who made everybody. I do what I want when I want. You belong to me. You don't tell me how I handle what's going on in my house. Nigga, you insane. Kill the babies, kill the children, kill the women. And guess who he said to start with? Start with the old men first. He didn't say go start with the baby. Start with them older men who've been misleading and misguiding all these people and kill them first. You know what I'm talking about? And the angel like this here, as you have commanded, my Lord. Get out of here. You know what I'm talking about? And people don't like to hear that because they don't want to deal with that aspect of it. They don't want to deal with that aspect of the same way you get frustrated with them children, telling them something over and over again, and then you come through with the belt or the pop or whatever the case may be, you will come through with death. You know what I'm talking about? That's why you would rather him rebuke you in his judgment and not in his anger. Because if he rebuke you in his judgment, he correcting you. If he rebuke you in his anger, he's more than likely going to consume you. Shoot, tell him again, Saran. Say the type of God who's sick of the sound of his own voice telling us to stop being evil. You know what I'm saying? And people don't want to understand that. That's almost on the line we were talking about earlier about a man. If he with a woman, she's a disciplinary problem. He going to get tired of telling her that, and eventually he'll just leave. I mean, you have some women out here who are gross disciplinary problems. They don't stop talking. They rude. They disrespectful. You know what I'm talking about? All manner of things, and they think they can do that because they have a vagina. Most of the time, women who are disciplinary problems do that because they don't believe that that man will leave. You know what I'm saying? It's always said that men get in relationships and they don't believe that woman will leave. I'm going to be honest with you. The average man ain't even thinking about if she'll leave or not. You know what I'm saying? That's not running in his mind. I can do anything. She ain't going to leave. Average dude don't really think like that. You know what I'm saying? He got too much stuff going on to be really concerned about if she going to leave or not. But the average woman, she don't think that a dude going to leave no matter what she says or what she does. She don't believe that he'll dip. That's why they're shocked when a dude say, I'm done with you. I'm out of here. I don't want to mess with you no more. Average woman ain't never been broke up with before. They don't even know how to handle it. Because they used to leaving the man. Most of them are not. Because we've had this conversation before. It says a lot about a woman if a man leaves you. That means you suck. You know what I'm talking about? If a man look you in your face and say, I'm done with you, see, that's because you don't want to go in front of your friends and say, he left me. See, because you know that's what they like to put out there in the world. Men be leaving their wives. Most men don't leave their wives. You know what I'm saying? Most men don't leave their kids. They leave the woman. In the process of leaving the woman, now they can't deal with their kids because the woman's mad because he don't want to put up with your crap. I told you before, like, what some of these chicks be doing with them children, man, I say F them kids and send that nigga a check and see him when he grown. Because I'm not finna go through all that with no woman about my child. I'm not doing all that. You're not taking me through this. You're not taking me through that. I'm either going to take you to court or I'm going to say, man, F them kids. And that's it. I'm not doing that. You're not finna wield that type of power over me and think you're going to have me on the puppet string to jump when you say jump and move when you say move and dance when you say dance. I'm going to say bump that jump. And you can go tell them your daddy didn't fight with you. And when they get grown, I'm going to tell you your mother is a vindictive, rebellious, disgusting, malicious whore. But you love her all the same, son. Don't disrespect your mama. You're grown now. Don't you realize when a lot of dudes get grown and they get the other side of the story that they have a different dealings with their mama after that? Now you find out why your daddy really wasn't there. It wasn't because he didn't care. Your mother is an incorrigible woman. Yeah. I mean, she's someone that you can't get along with her. You know what I'm talking about? She's a very, very bad attitude. Can't deal with somebody like that. It's impossible. A woman like that is akin to a man who moves according to the flesh. When Yahuwah look at you, you're abominable to him. He can't agree with you. Because that's what an incorrigible person, they're disagreeable. This is somebody that you can't get along with. They don't have a desire to get along. They don't want to get along. They don't want to be in peace. They don't want to do any of those things. You know what I'm talking about? Why, as a man, should I have to put up with that? I'm not putting up with that. Yahuwah's I'm not putting up with that. And I ain't putting it up with it just so I can see a child. I'm not doing it. I refuse to do it. You're not going, most women do that. It's the only way I can have power over him. I'm going to use his child to have power over him because I can't have power over him any other way. I won't participate. You know what I'm talking about? That's why I ain't never had no children until I got married. I'm not participating in that. You ain't finna make me dance, but according to your tune, nigga, bump you and that nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Deal with him on your own. You'll get your check when the check is due. I'm not going through all that with you. You know what I'm saying? And the average woman wouldn't even know what to do when a man say that. Then they'll be like, well, damn. She either going to amend her behavior or she going to just keep on doing what she's doing. But you have to be direct with people like that and say, you're not going to play with me like that. How would you women feel if a nigga did you like that with your child? And say, nah, you can't do this. You got to jump through this hoop. Once you jump through this hoop, he got 3 more hoops for you to jump through. You think you're supposed to keep jumping through that? I'm not jumping through that. I refuse. You know what I'm talking about? For what? Get grown. I'm going to tell him the truth. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's what Kanye West said ended up happening. Got grown, heard his daddy's side of the story, seen his mama was with that rally. That's why he didn't see his dad. Most men just don't, especially a son. Man, most men ain't gonna be like, man, screw my kids. I don't want to see them. I don't want to deal with them. It's a bump in the between two grown people who can't facilitate something. But some of that stuff come from because y'all have babies from people you don't know. Because I definitely know somebody who had a baby from a nigga who she had really just met. You don't know this man. You tried to make a relationship out of it because you had this baby, and then that made it worse between the two parties because you were inseminated by somebody you don't know. Like you didn't really know this person. You know what I'm saying? So now y'all not really beefing because it's really an issue. One person is frustrated because she had a child from a man that she doesn't like, who she sees she doesn't like because she didn't know him. And this man is upset in the same fashion. And now y'all can't put all that to the side for the benefit of this child because the child didn't give a damn if you niggas didn't know each other. I'm here now. Now I got to deal with the byproduct of the bad decisions that you made. And that's what leads young men to a life of criminality. Because now you're looking at my mama don't care about me, my daddy don't care about me, or mom dude's trying to insert another man in here. You know what I'm talking about, to take my daddy's place, but I want to know my daddy. It's all type of stuff, self-esteem, all type of stuff spring from all that. And it all comes from people seeking after pleasure. You know what I'm talking about? And you can't ask somebody to be responsible for the mistakes that you done made because you sought after pleasure. That's not a person's responsibility. Same person, if you broken, traumatized, and all that, that ain't nobody's responsibility to try to love you through that. You know what I'm talking about? That's not a responsibility because now you asking them to go on a journey that they shouldn't have to go on. Because if you that broken up and messed up, then you just need to be by yourself. Figure all that out. You know what I'm talking about? But you hear black women say they want us to be their therapist, but then you want niggas to do the same thing. We talking about heal a heart you didn't break. Be patient with all that. So you're full of crap. Because nobody should do that. You know what I'm saying? A woman can't be a man's therapist anyway. You know what I'm talking about? Because she need a damn therapist. So who's she going to give therapy to? You know what I'm talking about? Straight up and down, she got mama issues and all this old type of stuff. Niggas like this here, man. If you got a nigga who wants you to be his therapist, he ain't a man anyway. He too weak. He can't deal with stuff if he pouring all his stuff on you. That's what I hear a whole lot of women say. My man, he pour all his emotional stuff on him. So the minute he did that, why did you stay? That lets you know that this man wasn't capable of leading because he has mental and emotional issues. You should have left him where he stood and let him develop himself as a man versus staying with him for an extended period of time and then complaining about the process that he had to go through in order to become a man. That's your fault for staying. So if you stayed, don't complain about him going through that process. Stick it out and shut your mouth. You know what I'm talking about? Because you knew that, you seen that, you could have left, you didn't. Who wants to hear it? No one. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want to hear that crap. Because if you seen that this man was not in an emotional state to lead, why did you stay? Makes no sense. No different if you seen that woman was a disciplinary problem, if you seen this woman had trauma and she was emotionally unstable, why did you stay? Don't complain about it later. Yeah, you don't stay around for that, man. You don't stay because that person got to heal and deal with their own stuff. You can't do that. That's just like this here, man. You can't love nobody in this room out of no sin. You can't do that for them. You can't love the wickedness and love the unbelief up out of them. You can try to strengthen them, but you can't do that. They got to do that for themselves. And that person has to want to do that. They don't want to do it, doesn't matter. You know what I seen the dude my man called me the other day, man, yeah, the dude messing with a chick, man, he don't want to deal with the word. That gotta be, your baby done failed. She injured. Damn, that's not a boy. But you hear that there? That pause, that baby hurt. You know what I'm talking about? When they had that mouth open a long time with that crying pause with it, no sound come out. That baby hurt. Oh, thank you. You can hold it. That baby hurt. You understand me? Hold on 1 second, man. Let that baby hurt. No, I already, man, look, I already knew because she sat up on her knees, Stanley seen it. And she, I'm talking about, held that leg for a good little about 5 to 10 seconds. She didn't have to let the cry out. I knew that baby hurt. You know what I'm saying? She had to pause with it. She couldn't even let the sound out. You know what I'm saying? That baby hurt. You all done seen it. You all done been there. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand, man. Shoot, sometimes they get hurt. Sometimes they ain't hurt. That baby hurt. You know what's the saying that people like to say? Love conquers all. Love don't conquer all on the inside of a person. The love of Yahuwah can defeat anything, but the love of Yahuwah has to actually be in the person to defeat it. You understand? Because he loved all of us, but yet we still went against him. You know what I'm talking about? See, my example of what I'm saying is the love of Yahuwah was in David. That's why he was able to not ever transgress ever again in the fashion that he did. That's why he could say he could show the short mercies of David. It was in him. If the love of God is not in you, it's going to be difficult for you to be able to conquer. Since we're talking about conquer, come over here to Romans 8 with it. Romans 8, verse 34. It's a hard reality. You know, this harsh reality is when you become an adult and you really see how life really is and how people really interact with. And of course, the internet has a proliferation of individuals that get on here and say whatever they want to say. You know, all type of shows and people haven't given their opinion. See, the internet was a beautiful thing and it was a horrible thing at the same time because it gave opinions to idiots. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can go live on Facebook, go live on Instagram, make them a YouTube page, and spew all the folly that they want to spew. But when you get down to it, you got a lot of broken and injured people out here in the world. Now, that nigga said this other day, and you ladies can answer this here, right? Because you hear more women say they looking for love and want love, right? Than men in general. The brother point is that most women don't love themselves, and that's why they so ardent about finding love from another person. You know what I'm talking about? And from my life experience, I agree with his assessment. I can't say that that's broad, sweeping all the way across the board. But when you don't love yourself, you always going to go out and seek for love. That's why you have some women like, well, I have a baby and the baby will love you. You know what I'm talking about? Or like this here, you looking for man to love you. That's why you don't usually see men talking about I'm looking for love. I'm looking for a woman to love me. This woman did. Because then you look at him when he do that, this nigga's gay. He weak. Because when you love yourself, you don't look for love from somebody else. You know what I'm saying? See, the reason why I'm mentioning this here, you ended up looking for the love of Yahuwah because you realized with the way you were living your life, you didn't love yourself. You couldn't have. Because you were participating in destructive activities, destructive to your soul, destructive to your salvation. Then when the love of Yahuwah arises, you begin to really understand, I couldn't have loved myself like I thought I did. Because look what I was doing to myself. Blood is on my hands. I'm destroying myself mentally and spiritually of what I thought was pleasurable, when in actuality, it was not. Romans chapter 8, verse 34. Matter of fact, let me go ahead over here to this 29, because we were talking about being made in his image or being conformed, so we can work that. For whom he did, this is Romans 8:29, for whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Again, you got the predestinate again. So you're dealing with, you have individuals who he bara, or created, that he created in order to have that clean heart, because that's what David is asking for. A clean heart to be created and a right ruach to be renewed or to be returned, or not renewed, not returned in that one. It's Kadash. Y'all remember what Kadash means? Not the QA, but the CHA. Oh, look it up. Look it up in the chapter, man. You remember what Kadash means, right? Not that one, the other one. The one that they use when they arguing about the new moon. It means it means to renew, to repair, or new. You know what I'm saying? So what he was asking for is a new heart. What we were going to get to is eventually is what happened with Saul. Y'all remember what happened with Saul and Samuel? We'll read it, y'all willing on Wednesday. Y'all remember what happened with Saul?
What part?
About 1 Samuel chapter 9. Look at 1 Samuel chapter 9, everybody.
I got it.
He has heard. He said he'd give him a heart and he would become another man. See, that's what we're going to get to, y'all willing on Wednesday, when we get to really focusing in on the namesake of the verse, because we're running out of time. We only got 4 more parts left before this has to go away. Well, really 3. We might do 10, but I don't think we've ever done 10. We always stop at 9. Meaning that's 3 weeks. We get to 9 parts, that means we was on something for 3 weeks. You know what I'm talking about? So when you're looking at him asking for a right spirit to be renewed in him, he's asking for a new spirit. When you seen that with Saul, he was given a new heart, and then the spirit came on him. So that means that there's a change. You know what I'm talking about? But before you can even deal with it, put your clothes down. Before you can deal with the change, you have to deal with why are you seeking the change? Because you want to be delivered and you want your sins to be hidden, because that change cannot be made while those sins are still present. You know what I'm talking about? And that's why a lot of people don't get the change that they seeking, because that sin is still present. They don't have a desire for deliverance. You know what I'm saying? Deliverance is not some magical thing that happens. It's just to be saved or removed from a potential danger. You know what I'm talking about? And the word is what removes you from that potential danger. And you get removed because he conforms you or fashioned you in the image of his son, because he has made you for himself. Anybody who serves you, who are you? Who is specific? In Leviticus, I think it's 20. I could be mistaken. He said he literally severed you from other people that you could belong to him. That's what he said when he brought you out of Egypt. I severed you from other people that you could be mine. So when you turn around and you look at it, you were in the world, you were moving according to the ways of the world. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? And things of that sort. And then he severs you from that. He said, you are not of the world because I'm not of the world. If you were of the world, then the world would love you. He say, they that are of the world speak of the world, therefore the world hear them. So he's severing you to be able to take you through the furnace of fire, to craft you in his image, because he has made you for himself. If he didn't want you for himself, he would have left you where you were at. That's what people don't understand when they did it. This ain't about that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. This man called you, then he take you through that process. That means he was taking you through this process because he created you for himself. No other reason. And see, a lot of that would have come down to on the natural tip. When a man picks a woman for himself, he creates her to be an extension of himself. See, that's why a lot of women in this society don't want to get married, and they have this thing from, I'm losing myself, I'm losing my identity. Because the reason why that happens is because the woman is supposed to become an extension of that man. You know what I'm talking about? That's what she's supposed to be. She is supposed to be the female version of that man. She's supposed to think like that man. She's supposed to be an extension of his personality. She's supposed to do everything as he would do it, because he took her to create and craft her for himself. That's why it's always a negative for women to be with multiple men, because every man is going to try to form you to be beneficial to him. And there's no singular, like women say, well, what do men want? And you can't really answer that, because every man is different. What Monte want is not going to be the same as what Johnny want. What Johnny want is not going to be the same as what Darius want. It's not going to be the same. So you can't take those women and craft her. Now when she come to me, now she's been in the image of 1, 2, 3 different men. You know what I'm saying? That's what she's been formed as, for 1, 2, 3 different men. And that's why you see a lot of headbutting and fighting, what you see with a lot of women. You've been carried around with imprints of multiple different men. And now this man is trying to See, a lot of women call that, oh, that grooming, it sounds pedophilic and all this here. No, he's trying to set you up to be the woman that is beneficial for him. I don't care what you did with that nigga over there. Or that. He ain't me. You know what I'm saying? So when you come and you dealing with Yahuwah, he like this here. I don't care what you was doing in the world. I don't care what you was doing with this God. I got to form you in the image because you are for me. I created you for myself. So I got to take you through a few things to get you how I need you to be and able to serve and benefit me. You know what I'm talking about? But you say your mama told you was losing yourself?
She get upset. She be like, every time I ask her what you're going to do or what you want to do, she be like, why would you lose yourself? Why are you okay with that? She always says like, you just don't have no aspirations and stuff.
All that means is though your mother is married, she's not a wife. See, just like I told you before, just because somebody married you don't mean you're a wife. You know what I'm saying? See, a lot of women get it confused. A lot of men marry women who aren't wives. You know what I'm saying? And then because of marrying that makes that woman, because no matter what any woman says, her greatest aspiration in life is to, before we left the house, we were looking at the clip of Beyonce on Oprah when she was like, do you like being a wife? And you could tell that Beyonce wanted to say, absolutely, nigga. It's the greatest thing ever happened to me. But she knew she was on Oprah and she had to watch herself. And then she ended up saying, you know what? Before you become a wife, make sure you're your own woman and do all this here. And Oprah stuck her hand out and shook her hand. Now, number one, I don't follow that whore. But one thing I can tell, without even seeing a whole bunch of stuff and corroborated it, you can tell that woman loved being a wife. Absolutely enjoys every single solitary minute of it. Don't make a decision without asking her husband, wants his validation, cares about his opinion. Everything moves on the word of her husband. And she don't care about losing herself. Nigga, that's just a stage persona. She said, you dumb niggas to make money. You know what I'm saying? That woman go home and she serve her husband. You know what I'm talking about? But why does she do that? Because she wants to be a wife. You know what I'm talking about? But then you can turn around and look at her mama. Her mama wasn't a wife. You know what I'm talking about? Her mama wasn't a wife. She was a woman who got married. There's a lot of stuff. Your mama ain't a wife. She's just a woman who got married. You know that. Because you done said it, just not in them words. That doesn't make her a horrible person. That's just the reality. Would you say your mama a wife? See, that long pause tells me absolutely not. Don't worry, she ain't gonna see it. She didn't even know I'm talking to you. You know what I'm talking about? No, I'm not saying that to be hard. Some of y'all know women who are married and you be like, she ain't no wife. You told her that, but you looking at me crazy. Scared to say it out loud, but you said it to her face. And what she say? That proves she ain't no wife. See, if your stepdaddy would have did this, that, there, and the third, see, then I could have done that. That prove you ain't no wife. I could have been a... Now, I will say this here now. You do got to be a specific type of man to get the best out of a woman. Because your mama's a disciplinary problem, and you know that. Your mama is a bucker. That's the sad part. You shocked that she was soft. Was she soft with y'all? What about the grandchildren? See, they always get soft with the grandchildren. She said a little. We stop right here for now, man, because we lead in the Passover. We got a lot in this area, but we'll say hallelujah for Yahushua in the word right now. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all. Bless y'all at the house of Alahym in the name of Yahushua. But I just want y'all to keep that in mind about the sin blotted out. Because now, hey, why y'all playing in that hallway? Somebody must want to get their whole head split. Is it Michael? Is it Muffin Man? Is it Abby? Why y'all in there playing by the toilet? Why you got my baby? I'm just messing with y'all, man. Y'all all right. Hey, don't do that boy like that. Who was in line first? Well, Abby was first, Muffin Man. But hey, man, praise you who indeed, man. I appreciate y'all, man. We will be having our observance of Passover beginning on the night of April the 2nd, which would be basically you're gonna have two Sabbaths running into each other. The weekly Sabbath gonna roll right into the first Sabbath for Passover, so you know. So make sure that you got yourself properly prepared, rocked, and ready to go. You who are willing. Like I said, it's night of April the 2nd. I'm talking right now, son. Service that Saturday night will start at probably about 8:30. I'm trying to get my thoughts together. Every service time will be 7:30. So that Sunday will be 7:30. That Monday, Tuesday, and of course Wednesday is always 7:30. That Thursday will be 7:30. That Shabbat will be regular service time, 8:30, because we in the in-between time. So on Friday nights, man, we can start between about 8:15 and 8:30. Hey, praise the Lord. Slow, man. When we get into the goodness of summer, man, probably like late May, early June, we'll go to 9 o'clock. But at right now, here in the time of March, April, and summer May, it'll be between 8:15 and 8:30 on the Shabbat. So I make sure I put this stuff on the community tab with the service time, start times, and things of that sort, so it can be there. Matter of fact, I'll do this when I get off of here. But if y'all got any questions, you know, if you got my number, you know, just text me or hit me up on the book or put it in the community tab, whatever the case may be. Matter of fact, let me put it on here right there for anybody on here who don't have it. I'm talking. Nope, dang. That's not 9,000, folks. That's supposed to be 904. I'm talking. Y'all being rude. I'm not finished. I'm talking to these people, and y'all being rude, and you're not showing the patience to wait until I'm done doing what I'm doing. So if you need to text me or call me about got any question about anything, that's how you can get in contact with me and able to do so. But like I said, I'm going to put all that stuff in the community tab. Again, I bless y'all at the house of Alahym in the name of Yahushua. Appreciate y'all this afternoon. Of course, if you don't know, we have a service every single solitary day of unleavened bread. Every day. So just be advised. Yahuwah willing to the next time. Yes, what might I do for you? Oh, hey, Lil Muffin say we ain't got no money. And we need some money.